Morning. Let's see who's here. Boom. Wow. Jesse, good morning. Love your Myco community. Good for you. Billy D. 4-leaf. Let's see. Billy D. Smack that like button. Hell yeah. Good call. Yeah, let's see. We got 4-leaf. What's up, 4-leaf? Marky Z. Z Labs. What's going on, man? Yeah, 70 Missouri. That's nice. It's like 12. Here. 12. Like 1, 2. Maybe even 9. It might be only 1 digit Fahrenheit. So, yeah, Buddy's upstairs. Buddy's not allowed in the lab. Well, he's allowed, but he just doesn't like it. So I never attempted to adjust it. How's my color today, guys? Is it less blue, more natural looking? Can you hear me? Just fill me in on that, guys, real quick. Because I was doing a bunch of stuff to show you guys, and I completely lost track of time and was ending up being a minute late. JC Cat, what's up, babe? How you doing? Derek, good afternoon. Yes, it is. It is afternoon in most of the East Coast. Actually, all the East Coast. I look pink. Okay, I can adjust pink. I can change pink. Okay, let's see. Let's go with it. I can adjust pink. Let's see if I can adjust pink. That's too dark. Okay. Of course, I can't see the buttons because it's dark. There it is. Let's try. Let's go a little bit more. That's too blue. That's too green. How about just regular, like, no, that's kind of green, huh? I don't know. I don't know what to do, guys. I can't tell with these freaking lights. Gotta do flashing. Ambulance, no. Okay, we could just go with like regular lighting and see how that works. Let's just bring it down to a nice warm, like, I don't know, 2500. That's 9K. That's off right there. So let's go down to a warm. Oh, let's try 2500. That's kind of warm, and we're going to dim it down a little bit. Let's go down to about 40% and see what happens. Okay, let's try that. That less pink or more pink or what? I don't know. That doesn't work. I give up. We'll just do that, and we'll just have normal lighting. Almost had. How's that? Is that more normal human looking? I'll get this lighting shit figured out eventually. Hey, Adam, what's going on? Yeah, poorly, everybody looks a little pink. Yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to try to figure out. Let's see, which way do I gotta go? Actually, I gotta go this way. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Back here, remember that stacks I was showing you guys on Friday that was just curving, just the caps were just starting to flatten out. 2 days later, they are looking like these. They have the edges coming up. Gills are exposed. Now, these, I think, are at the limit of where I would want to dry them. Anything further than this, they're going to start bruising blue, and they're going to start rotting. So I brought the cake out again, and this is how it looks 2 days later. So as you can see, they're all starting to get their big edges, their borders and stuff. So this is going to get harvested. I was going to harvest it Friday night, but I wanted to kind of show you guys what it does after a couple more days of just chilling out. Oh, thank you, Masmofo. But thank you. Thanks, Maury. I appreciate that. At least you're listening. It's something that better than nothing. Let me see if I can adjust the angle here. I was supposed to have a different camera that I could adjust the white balance and the color and all that stuff, but it didn't get here yesterday. The Amazon guy said that he couldn't make it down the driveway. It's a dirt driveway and there was nothing on it. So I don't know. That happens a lot. I'm going to show you guys a quick way on how to swab something like this. This one should still be viable for spores. I'm going to swab it. I'm going to check it on the microscope over a week and show you guys the results next week. I'm not going to do it aseptically. I'm just going to do it in front of the screen here just to show you guys how it works. Yeah, it's a nice birthday cake, huh, Bill? Yeah, absolutely, Mark. I'm going to swab them. I'm going to swab them one live here just to show you guys how it's done. I'm not going to do it sterilely. I am going to wear gloves. I'm just not going to, I'm going to wear gloves because I cut the shit out of myself earlier on my way down here. I was messing with the fan for the tent, and it's sheet metal, and I just cut the shit out of myself. I didn't have time to go up and get a Band-Aid, so I just wrapped some tape and a piece of paper towel on my finger. But it'll work. And oh, my new jar lids, they're working well. I made them. The only problem is these caps melt, so you can't PC the port covers. So I had to change that out. But I am noticing, and I'm kind of curious. I did sterilize this LC mix for 45 minutes at 17 psa, so I did get caramelization, which I expected, which everybody's common not answer consensus is that caramel is fine. The caramelization of the sugars is fine because they break it down anyway. So this is lion's mane, and it's getting this nice, beautiful. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get some light up in here. Nice and beautifully thick on the bottom. Okay, but what it is it's like eating the caramel and it's causing like these long chains. So I'm going to stir it up. I didn't stir it on purpose just to show you guys first. But when you stir it, all the caramel's gone. Look at it. They're eating away at all the caramels. Now let me grab one that's not inoculated. Okay, so I keep them in plastic bags while they're not inoculated just so that nothing can get in. But anyways, this one here is not inoculated. So this is just out of the pressure cooker. And you can see it still has stuff on the bottom. Those are the caramels, okay? But they're different. They're just thin. They're not connected. Now, when I shake it up, it's a completely different look. Let me do a side by side. So they're actually eating. This is the LC. You can see the chains of mycelium starting. And these are the caramels. So it's a lot pickier. They're thinner. They're just floating around. So not inoculated. Inoculated. So the chains, you can see the actual chains of the mycelium growing together. And they're not snagging on the straw. They do a little bit, but then when you move it, it just stirs fine. I can put it on the stir plate and it'll grow just fine. So this is lion's mane after about 6 days, and I put 2 cc's of LC from Mossy Creek in here. So that's a 3% LC solution. Let's see, 2%. Shit. Either corn dextrose or LME, and then the other one's LME. I posted the tech. And it has a gram of, or 0.7 grams of peptone from 1,400 milliliters of LC mix. But yeah, so that's looking really good. I'm happy with the results. Looks good. Yeah, I'm happy. The LC seems fine. I have a control with just a Caro and water started just to see if there's a difference, but it's not growing very fast at all. So, absolutely. Yep, redneck first aid. Absolutely. Duct tape, scotch tape, grab a rubber band and some fabric, wrap it up in your shirt. What I found in general in life is the faster you close the skin, whether you slice it and get an opening and you hold it together, or you put the flap back down and just hold it there, faster you can get pressure on it with that skin together or fold it back over. Like I ripped this knuckle off at work. There's a Band-Aid on this one but it basically peeled back the skin, and I put it down, and within 2 days it was stuck, and then the skin starts drying on the edges. By that time it's scabbing and it's already whatever the word for blood drying up means. I forgot the word. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Works. Yep, for my Band-Aid. Duct tape. Yep, duct tape. Yes, thank you, Bill. Duct tape, or Mark. Duct tape. That's actually, Mark, I'm in the process of working on getting some gourmets going. That's actually the Mossy Creek mushrooms. I'm sure you've heard Andrew and Samantha's live. They have an LC lion's mane that they bred your intermixed different lion's manes called trebles. It looks like little white Star Wars trebles, Star Trek trebles, the little white guys that they were on one of the planets from Star Trek. So I ordered that one. They run great sales. Every time they do a live, they do like a 10 or 20% off sale code right on their live. So check them out, guys. They're awesome people over there at Mossy Creek Mushrooms. I think they're in Tennessee. Yeah. But, yep. Yeah, Mark, I'll take care of you once I get it. I got to test it and everything. You know, I'm not going to just start sending it out to people. Oh, it's really good. Thank you, MycoNerd. No problem. You can stop in and out whenever you like. Just going to be chatting with everybody for as long as we chat. I don't mind talking for a while. Anybody has questions, post them up. I got a bunch more stuff to show you, including some contams to show you what happens when something contams. So when you get a jar of grain and it's growing, and sometimes you'll notice, not on this one as much, but this one's fine. Now you'll notice on a jar like this where it's a little bit dusty looking. Okay. See that dust? Now what you can do to test to see if it's contaminated, just give it a little shake. And if the top gets all foggy and green, that's no good. This is contaminated. Okay. This was done the other day. I did it on, let's see, on the 24th. I screwed something up and it contaminated. But right alongside of it, I did this one, which is just fine. So it's not the grain. It's just something I did wrong. I don't know. You know, it happens. You know, I was testing things out. I might have just screwed up. Like here's another example. Like I did a swab T0 plate of the PMB albino Normac cross I did. And within 1 or 2 days, I started noticing this nice little white spot right there. Okay. But it's not a colony. The little one over here, that's a colony. This one over here is green. It's turning colors. I don't know if you can see it, but it's no good. So this plate is garbage. Not even gonna try saving it. I have more of them. I did others. That lion's made trouble. That one's coming out great. It's colonizing nice. This is the LC test I did. There we go. It's growing in nice. So the LC was perfectly clean. I did a T0 plate of my swabs for the GT Thick Halo cross I did. The T0 plate is looking great. All those nice little colonies. Show you from the back. Boom. And this was swabbed on the 24th. So that's what, 7 days, 8 days growth. Not bad. Looking good. I cloned that GT Thick Halo as well, which is starting to grow out beautifully. That's a 2-piece clone that I screwed up and dropped 2 pieces on the plate. Again, another one. This one's contaminated. As you can see, coming down from this down here and then going along the bottom here is this line of like little dots. Now that's not something you want. That's nastiness. That's bad stuff. Okay. Now this plate you could easily clean up because that's like a bacterial contamination right there, and it's coming around. So what it did is I dropped the piece on here and somehow it got moisture in there and it just ran off the side. And then as I moved it around, it spun around the plate. But over here, I can see that there's nice clean mycelium. So if I wanted to, I could grab a transfer from here to a new plate. But since I already have a second plate of the same strain, going in trash. And I have a third one. This one's clean as well. This one has a couple dots around it, but that's just because I dropped the sample. But there's no, you can see there's no little, you can see it's clean. That's a cut mark where it says clone. Might be backwards over here. That's where the scalpel was cooled off, but it's clean. That little spot on the bottom is not contaminated either. It's growing nicely. Right here. That's just another spot that the mycelium touched. So I got those. And then I did a second, this was here, a gill fragment. I took a piece of the gill fragment from inside one of these fruits from the Thick Halo GT. I just took a piece of gill fragment, stuck it in the agar, and then dragged it with my scalpel around the side just to see if I could get little spores to germinate. And I think I did. It's a good experiment. I didn't do it as a looking for a mono or anything. I just did it to see if by dragging the scalpel through the gill fragment, then dragging the gill fragment, or actually I think I might have started here. I grabbed the gill fragment on the side of the scalpel, dragged it across here, and then left the fragment over here. So the fragment started cloning, but I think these would be or T0, individual cells over here. They're probably germinated already, but it was just for fun, just to see what would happen because it was a nice fresh gill. And then just another clone. This one here was the PMB albino Melnac that I just threw away. The other one, this is the clean one. This is why you do multiple cloning plates, guys. Take 3 or 4 plates for each clone because these were all cloned from the same fruits. and 1 or 2 of them got contaminated on each clone. So it happens. Nothing you can do about it. It's just, yes, there's things you can do about it. You can pick your fruits earlier, but if you pick your fruit earlier, you're not going to know the expression and what it's going to look like. Sometimes you're just going to see a little mushroom with a cap closed off. So like if you want to see what the fruit's going to look like at this point, this one I don't think I would clone because it's getting kind of old. So when you open it up, it might be nice and dry inside. It might be moist. I haven't opened it yet. But I'd say, yeah, this one's still probably good to clone. Probably right where the cap meets the stipe. But something like that, you want to clone early as you can. But anyways, those are a couple little things I wanted to show you. I got more to show you. I got a lot of stuff to show you. Actually, what's this? No, that's old stuff. Okay. Where am I at here? Swallow me up. Let's see. Yeah, for like this, I always make my own LC. I mean, I've got literally jars and jars of it over there. It's hard to see. Let me see if I get a little bit light. Those are all jars of LC over there. Here, I'll grab a couple. I'll show you guys. This is how they look after like several months of growing. Like this here is a Yeti I did. Now this thing is thick. I mean, it's just thick. It's growing up the walls. It's just trying to get out. It wants to grow up the walls. This thing here is so thick. This is from September 25th. You can just see them, as somebody would put it, the jellyfish floating around the mycelium. And then I got several others. Like this is a thin one. This is a Caro syrup, Albert 2 that I did. And you can barely see anything in there, but that's all good growth. I mean, you don't need a lot to grow. I mean, I could inoculate a bag with that growth any day of the week. It's hard to see through these jars because of the where am I at here? Okay, there we go. Yeah. This one's growing. This one's only from 1219, but it's only like maybe 1% Caro syrup and distilled water. There's definitely colonies in there. That big chunk in the middle was probably the agar piece I put in. But it's growing. This is Albert 2. I'll show you what that looks like because it's fruiting right now. But yeah, I do a lot of homemade stuff just to see what would happen. Actually, Mark, that BBS that you got from me. Oh yeah, no, you wrote that right. Via Happy is, yeah. I got it from Happy. I did it on plates. I grew once, but it didn't grow very efficiently. So I just kind of I had so much other stuff going on. I didn't keep working with it. Let me see if I can adjust this here a little bit. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I didn't keep working with it, but I have it still somewhere. It might not be any good, but I have it. But yeah, it should grow great. I'll be grabbing up some LC from Mouse Creek. Yeah. Honestly, Myco Nerd, it came in a bubble mailer, silver, and no issues whatsoever. I was worried, yeah, because it was like 0 here at the time. No problem whatsoever. I mean, it might have just been decent mail service. I don't know. It didn't sit out very long. I've been going to work at 1:30. I leave my house at 1:30. My mail comes between 12 and 1. So it didn't sit out very long. If it did get cold, that's better than getting hot, to be honest with you. You'd much rather it be colder than hotter. But it was fine. It came out on the plate perfectly fine. It's growing in the LC expansion. And I'm in Massachusetts, so if that alleviates any issues, it's shipped fine. I would be more worried about during the hot weather. Now, if it got 10 below 0 and a wind chill of 30 below 0, I would get worried because that's going to freeze something really solid. I don't know how sugar affects the freezing temperature. I know salt does, but I don't believe sugar would affect freezing temperature of the water. So the level of sugar in the water might slightly make a difference, maybe 0.5 degree. Should be fine. I don't know what your elevation is or any of that stuff either. So that might have a slight adjustment of freezing. So if it's like 35, you're going to be fine. If it's like 0, then I might think about asking them to see if they have a option to put a mailing warmer. Like it's like a hands thing for hands, but lasts longer. A lot of companies will add them in, or an ice pack for the hot summer. They're like maybe $5 to $10 extra, but it can protect your order. So some companies will do that if you contact them and personally say, look, it's going to be 0 in my area. Can you mail it and throw a warmer in, or, do something extra? Now, again, you might have to pay for that because it might cost them another $10 worth of material, $10 worth of shipping because of the weight. But if you're that worried and you want a quality strain from a quality vendor, they should be able to do something like that. I don't know if Mossy does it, but I've seen it on several vendor sites, high-end vendors. I think Sporeworks had it. I think couple people on the Sports Swaps at the Sports Swaps website. I just ordered 3 new strains from Ed yesterday or the day before. I forget. I think I was at work. Might have been. What's today? Sunday? Yeah, so it was probably Friday. I think I did it after the live here, or Saturday morning, because I was up pretty much all night Saturday for some reason, because Ed started his show at like 4:30 a.m. my time, maybe even earlier. And I woke up and I caught part of it, fell back asleep, woke up, watched it again. It was just a long night. That mushroom I ate, the little tiny thing, like not this size, it was actually like half this size. I threw it in. I'm sitting in my room about 11 o'clock and I'm just like, oh man, I feel nice and relaxed. I was like, holy shit, I'm going to start working with fresh mushrooms a lot more. Now, it was not, it was maybe like 0.2 grams dry or 0.1.5 grams dry. So it was a perfect microdose. It was just that amount of calming, slow your head down. I started focusing on computer shit. I was going through all my information that I slacked off on. I was responding to messages on Facebook, and I was just focused all of a sudden for just one little tiny, it was literally, let me see if I can find one. These are getting harvested after, so I'm not worried about breaking them off and block them. See, now these are normal size. These are like 4 inches long, couple inch round caps. I grabbed one that was like this size. It was just a little guy, just a little, a little brother, I just threw it in my mouth. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, tastes just like Pio mushrooms. But yeah, so I ended up trying it, and I was just nice and focused and relaxed. Anyways, before I go off on too far of a tangent, let's see what everybody's saying. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We got 25 people. Let's hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell. 1,000 follower giveaway is coming up. We already gained, I think, 6 or 8 followers since Friday. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate all of you, and just keep spreading the word. Rodman, thank you. I think I got your other accounts on there. I saw a couple names that I didn't understand. They were just regular names, so thank you. Yeah, Mark. I never had any real issues in the winter. I did have issues sending stuff to Christopher Michael in the summer. I sent him some plates, clean plates, fresh poured plates, a couple other things. And the plates in the mail, they got so hot, they like either melted or something. They were all contaminated, all of them. And I had the exact same batch of plates sitting on my flow hood I went through and picked 10 of them or whatever it was, however many it was. And I took them out of my whole stack of personal plates. I wasn't, trying to sell them, stacks and stacks. This was just my personal plates. Like I think I sent you a bunch of cups at one time, Mark. And I sent them to them, and they got there. They're all contaminated. I'm looking at mine. I'm like, how would I possibly pick 10 out of 100 plates that were going to be the contaminated ones? Because all mine the other 90 were fine. I'm like, how did I pick out the 10 contaminated ones out of all of them? Because there was like 4 colors. I picked out this one, 2 of this one, 2 of that one. How do you pick out 10 out of 100 that are the worst ones out of 100? Because, you lose 5%. That happens. But you wouldn't think giving 10, you'd lose all 10. You'd lose 1, which, you make up for it. You send them something else. Send them some fruit. Send them some flowers. Make up for it in that way, which I did. And eventually I didn't send them any plates because I wasn't sure how that would work. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them were fine. I don't know. But it was like the weirdest thing. It had to be the shipping because I literally had the plates and I took them and I left them out for like 30 days just watching them. Didn't use any of them because I figured they're all going to contaminate at that point. So I'm watching them. None of them contaminated. So the chances of me picking 10 out of 100 perfect is so slim. The odds are like 1 in 10, 100,000. And then getting them to him, those specific ones of all those colors. And yeah. So anyway, yeah, but I ended up, it took me a few weeks to get different stuff together for him, but it was fine. I sent him a big, I think a big 7 or 8 gram freaking turkey bone leg thing, not from turkey, from, our stuff. Anyway, so yeah, no, neither have I 4-leaf. It's always been the summer that I've had any issues with anything. I haven't pretty much had anything I've sent out come get notified that something's contaminated. Things do get contaminated, like transfers and stuff. It does happen, but usually you watch them till they're pretty big. And like I just got a couple from Happy that came in there perfectly fine. And then I looked at them 2 days later, and one of them had a little tiny, like maybe skin cell on the side, like right at the edge of the plate, like it could have crawled over the edge. But I transferred it anyways, and it was fine. So things do happen. Skin cells drop, they grow, they get, I mean, if you're looking at a plate that's green, that's an issue. If you're looking at one little spot, like, let me see if I have one here. It's not really this contamination, but if you had like a little tiny, you see that little white spot up here in the corner, if that was a bacterial drop or something, it would spread. But if it was just like a skin cell or something, it just sits there. You can still transfer from the other side just fine. LC, you can't do that. Like if you send LC and there's a bacterial spore in there, it's going to ruin the whole LC. But yeah, so no, never any problem. Morning, Rodman. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. House pet sitting till the 7th. I love the idea of pet sitting. I think I could do that. I could go around the country just going house to house as a pet sitter. Now, you could actually make that into something like, charge really low amounts as long as they give you boarding, room and board to watch a dog for a week. You could actually probably travel around the country with the internet nowadays, going from house to house to house, Uber to each house, and actually travel the country that way, staying at each house, if you could schedule it properly based on people's vacations and stuff. But with 250 to 300, or with 200 million homes or family homes, whatever, that people go on vacation, you'd think there'd be enough in every state to do that. That'd be kind of a cool thing, like house Uber. We Uber to your house and we house sit for your pet for 5, 10, 15 days while you're on vacation, and charge extra if they want to throw in any of those skin babies. You don't want skin babies, fur babies only. Any skin babies, that's an extra charge. Absolutely. It's like at least $1,000 a day extra for a skin baby. Fur babies, $10 a day, $15 a day. I'll play with your dog for 2 weeks for $10 a day plus room and board. That sounds like an awesome idea, Rodman. Good job. Oh, God. Hey, Slash. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I don't remember your name is. Oh, yes, I do. I think it's. What's that? That's IIX. I think that's just a fancy name. I don't think that's a Roman numeral. I think it was Ed or something that was trying to read the Roman numeral on that name once. Billy D. Forley. How's it going, man? Okay, everybody's saying hi to each other. Paul, what's up? Jellyfish. There we go. There's the jellyfish guy. Yeah, you like those jellyfish, Paul? Aren't they cool? Let me show you again. If I get the right one. Yeah. Jellyfish. So this is a culture I inoculated on, I can't remember the date. It was last either Sunday or Monday, or I did this one. So I inoculated this with 2 cc's of Mossy Creek mushroom LC from a syringe he sent me. And this 2 cc is now probably 40 syringes of LC mix now. So that's 6 days. I think it's looking pretty damn good for 6 days. This is my new LC mix. You can see on my IG, I put the recipe up. I think I put it up on here too somewhere. No, it's not the end all LC recipe. Lots of LC recipes will work. That's just my newest one I'm trying. So I put it up on IG to share. It's like 3% carb sugar, whatever you want to call it. And it seems to be working good. But the only difference is I did add soya peptone. It's not the bacteriological one. There's 2 of them on Amazon. There's soya peptone, which Mushroom Mesa Mike, he's been not advertising. He's been mentioning to try that one. So I figured if it was working for him, I could buy the less expensive soya peptone. Comes in a smaller bottle because 100 grams is going to last you hundreds of LC batches, not LC jars. Like I did a batch of 4 jars. It was 1,400 ml, give or take, 1,200 to 1,400 ml. So it was 4 jars with like 300 ml in each, 350. And I put 0.7 grams in the mix, or 0.9 grams. Okay, wait. I put 0.9 grams because I reduced the recipe to 100 milliliters for the picture and the description. I change my recipes depending on what I'm doing. So if I have a milliliter recipe, say you wanted to make that recipe for 1,700 milliliters. It's not hard to do. You just take the original numbers, and using milliliters and grams is usually easier, and just multiply it by 1.7, or multiply, if it's 1,300 milliliters, 1.3. So whatever 1,000, if you're doing 2,500, multiply it by 2.5. It's so easy. Just take the first 2 numbers of what you want, put a dot in the middle, multiply it. It's like 2,500, make it a 2 and a 5, put a dot in the middle. That's how you do it. That's math for idiots right there. Sorry, I'm not calling you guys idiots. I'm just calling anybody that needs to know how to do that idiots. Anybody that doesn't know how to multiply a recipe needs to go back to, well, no, the schools have to educate them better, because I took home ec when I was in, I think, 7th grade, and we learned how to multiply a recipe. 6th grade, I took sewing, home ec. Home ec had sewing, cooking. It was on, it was middle school. They teach that shit when I was a kid. Oh, thanks, Paul. Yeah, it's been. I'm sorry I had to work. I got that new job. I don't know if you caught the live from Friday night. I did explain a lot of it. If you go back the live from Friday, I went through a whole thing about the job situation, but it's been working out great. As you can see, I got that nice 2x4 flow hood back there. Right there. Nice, huh? Alexa, flow hood light on.
Okay.
No. Alexa, flow hood off.
Okay.
Alexa, hood light on.
Okay.
Isn't
Also,
that pretty?
I can notify you when there's rain or snow expected in your area.
I don't care when there's rain or snow.
Would you like me to do that?
No. Alexa, hood light off.
Okay.
I'm still learning, but we're getting better. We're almost in sync with each other. I still got to change her name and her voice, but we're getting better. Yes, thank you, Mark. Maybe we'll trade it back. Maybe you got. I know when I transferred it a few times, and it was growing. I had it on plates. I grabbed the best growth. I don't think I was sectoring anything. I just think I happened to get the decent part back, and I sent it to you. That's like the pink buffalo you sent me. I think you sent it to me twice. The first time I missed it or whatever. One of them grew, and I just harvested it, so it worked great. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. Sorry, my computer froze for a second. Thanks, Daniel. Nice to see you. I'm glad you made it by. Yeah, the show is cool, Mark. I like watching them. Him and Samantha, they do a great job. They have their editing down. They have all that stuff looking good. So eventually I'll have this set up. Maybe someday I'll have an office with like a backdrop and make it look official. I like my backdrop. I'm just me, but I want to make quality content so it doesn't drive people nuts. Okay, let's try not to get controversial. I watched a video that someone else watched and commented on, and I watched it, and it was driving me freaking nuts. And that's why I'm always doing this with stuff and trying to bring it into focus, into the screen. Because I watched a guy do a swabbing where he took the swab, maybe it was a swab, did something. He was playing with a plate like this. Okay, guys, this is what you do. You do this, 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 and this. Then you see the edge of the plate a little bit. It would just come into view. It would be like, come on, what the fuck? There we go. Sorry, guys. I fucked up. Okay. So anyways, was taking the plate and working on it over here on the side of the screen without showing what they were doing. And I'm like, come on, please just move it over to the center. Move it over to the center. I was begging the guy. I'm like, move it over to the center. I want to see how you're screwing up or you're doing right. But yeah, so I'm really trying to get the video down pat and the audio. The color, I apologize for the Smurf effect the other day because literally when I see myself in the screen here, it looks normal color. I look normal in my screen. It's only a webcam, so I can't really adjust that kind of shit on the computer. So it looks normal to me. But then when I go and looked at the video later that night, I'm like, oh, I thought they were talking about the blue in the background being, the blue. So I apologize for that, guys. It looked horrible. I know. I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to get the lighting down. We'll figure it out. Let's see. You got some white rabbit. I have some white rabbit culture somewhere. I don't think I'm growing it right now. Because I literally have, like, I'll show you guys in a few minutes that I got Stormtrooper that was pinning. Now, Stormtrooper is like this. It looks similar to this type of an albino, but it flips a lot more and it spins, and they're a little bit thinner so far. But yeah, so I got that growing. I'll show you guys that. And then I got my, oh wait, I have it right here. No, I don't. My cross, the GT Thick Halo. The first flush I showed you guys is my first cross in an Easter basket. This is 1216. Now, this is the third flush. It's another monster. It's just one mushroom. But, yeah, so it's hard to see, but yeah. It just veiled. This is the Thick Halo I got from Ed Grand, and I crossed it to a GT. So the Thick Halo was a big, like, it was a white albino, like a Vader cap, like a Darth Vader cap, and then crossed it to GT. The Thick Halo was the mono. The GT was the die carry-on. And then this is the third flush. So it's looking pretty good. It's getting kind of small. Like the cake's moving around quite a bit. I got a couple side grows. Let's see what we got here. No, that's just my psyllium. Well, yeah, so that one's going to be another monster. I'm going to probably pick that one later, see if I can get a different drying quality, because the drying quality of the big one that I did was fine, but I don't like it with all the gills turning, like dropping spores. That one's not dropping spores yet, so we'll see how that one comes out. Well, I might as well show you guys the other tubs while we're at it. I think we're long enough into the video. Okay, watch the light, guys. Bright lights. There, so these are the first two I wanted to show you guys. I set them aside. This here is the Silly Billy, which I don't know if I got the right strain or not, because that does not look like other people's I've seen. That's one nice little monster in there with a little blue cap sucker on the side. I think it's going to abort. But this is going kind of slow. This is a CVG with manure, supplemented, but it's going just fine. We'll see how that little guy comes out. I mean, he's not little. He's actually kind of big. I mean, you know, that's probably 2 inches round, 3 inches tall. And then the Stormtrooper LC that I sent Happy. Remember the Stormtrooper LC I sent you, Happy? It's doing its thing as well. You know, these are going to be Stormtrooper. What they're going to do is they're going to curl up into like a nest of little albinos. Not little. They're going to get bigger, but this one over here is about like average size, like over here, that big one. But these all flip around. They're fun. That's that. I don't know if you guys remember the pizza box somebody mentioned the other night, the big Tupperware container. Well, you can see it's starting to get little pins starting on there, the little white spots. So that's going good. And then the main course, this here is the Albert 2 I got from Happy. Now, if you remember, it was just pinning a couple days ago when I showed you for the first time. And now we got some nice, beautiful, decent size. You know, they're not huge. They're probably about an inch round on some of them. But there's going to be some beauties in there. This is coming from Captain Trips. We appreciate you. But there's a few that are going to abort. There's a couple weird ones. But that happens with a flush. So anyways, the moisture level seemed a bit high on that, so I took the dub tub off the top. Because at that point, I don't think I needed as much dub tubbing as I did with... okay, no more light. Still here. Okay, let's try this. How about that? That's kind of spooky. Trying not to destroy this. Whoa, bright light. Okay, there we go. That's better. Sorry. But yeah, so those are some stuff that's going good. I'm trying to figure out if I want to start posting pictures of the flushes or if I just want to leave them, or but I can't wait for that Albert 2 to go. That one looks really cool. It's going to be a fun one to grow, to see the final result. Okay. Sorry about the video things. For some reason, whenever anything touches the camera USB connection, it pauses the thing, and I have to start the camera on the StreamYard again. I don't know. Oh, no problem, Daniel. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to dox your situation. Yeah, Daniel's gotten screwed. You guys be careful out there, because even something as simple in some states as having a spent cake in the trash or in the car or in a bag in the trunk going to the dump can get you in a lot of trouble. Daniel, I'm praying for you. I hope everything works out well for you, because I don't believe you should have gotten in trouble for what you got in trouble for. Anyways, guys, be careful if you're in a state that's not very friendly towards gardening waste. I don't understand it, but I would have gotten... Anyways, good luck to you, Daniel. I hope everything works out, and I hope you just get to stay home. Let's see. What happened? Sorry, Derek. It's... I don't know what you're talking about. If it's the camera thing, I keep doing that. Every time I touch the cord, and I'm in the basement, so it's kind of hard. I have the cords everywhere. It's just, I'm like, if you can see over my shoulder here, I got cords over here, and they're a little, it's hard to get cords where you need them sometimes. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. Married Michael in the comments here. He has a girlfriend Emily, and they have a daughter, and they've run into some issues with situations with the law that was not their fault. Um, Not much being said after that, and I'm sure a lot of you know the situation. Just be careful. He's a great guy. He would do anything for any of you if you asked to. And I mean, he's in the middle of trouble. I have no problem sending him something he needs for his mental health, and I was not worried one bit, whereas other people were. And that ain't right, because you know what? If he was going to snitch on somebody, he wouldn't be in the legal trouble he was going to be in. He would have gotten out of it. So think about things before you guys make judgments. Not you guys, but think about things before you judge people, because he's an awesome man. Yeah, great family. Pray for him. Anytime, Daniel. So what was the other stuff I wanted? Oh, I want to show you guys how I do my swabbing. So, anyways, let's do this officially. Let's put some gloves on. Okay. So when you're going to swab an albino fruit, it's an albino fruit. This is the little bit of a difference. When you're swabbing albinos, it's a lot different than when you're swabbing a brown fruit, because you can see the swabs on the brown fruit or on the purple spores. Okay, take your alcohol. Now, again, this is not sterile. I'm just doing this to show you guys. Now, you take your swabs, okay? I spray mine with a little bit of water on the plastic side, and then I just kind of just rub them down a little bit just to make sure that there's nothing major sitting on them. And you got to open them, which is a pain in the ass sometimes with gloves on, but you can do it. Just take your time. Find a little spot. Sometimes bending it helps. But anyways, for this experiment, we're just going to take the swab and show you guys what to do. Take your swab, okay? Now, if you have two, you can put one between your fingers like a cigarette, okay? And just hold it off to the side in your airflow. Stay in your airflow when you're doing this, guys, okay? So you have one in your hand. Now, the screen is reversed. So this is actually my left hand. This is my right hand. Yeah, that makes sense. So this one in your hand, between your fingers, just hold it in the crook of your fingers down by the stick. These are 3-inch. Most people have the long ones. I don't. Now, I take the fruit. Now, when you're swabbing an albino, I'm going to show you the right way and the wrong way. Okay, you're going to just take it and just gently, like I'm barely. It's like a pendulum. I'm just letting it rest and just trying to just let it spin a little bit. Okay. Now you're just stroking the gill. You're not trying to get this thing to turn all kinds of different colors. Okay. You're staying in the center area as much as you can. Okay. You don't want to go right against the stipe or right against the edge. Okay. Now that has plenty of spores on it. Now, just notice there's no color. Well, that's because I'm not destroying this tissue. I'm not destroying the gill tissue. I'm touching it. Okay. I'm spinning it slowly as I go through the gills. I know it's hard to see. It's hard to do backwards in the camera too. But you're just gently spinning it. Okay. If there's spores there, it's going to pick them all up without turning blue, without turning black, without doing anything bad. Now that you put right back in your paper or right against the airflow. Now, how to swab wrong. Let's get wrong. Okay, take off your gloves, rip them up. Okay, grab a fruit. See, now you want to get in between the gills here, right there. Oh yeah, there you go. See, right in between the gills. This is how you swab a fruit wrong. Okay, take your fruit, rub those suckers, get that gill. Okay, you want to get right in that gill tissue. You want to get all those nice blue swabs. Okay, you get right, yeah. That is a bad swab on an albino. If you see something like that show up at your door, now this is going to look beautifully blue in about 2 minutes. Let me dry it off. Don't do this either. Look how nice and blue that is. I don't know if you can see it, the color here. But see how nice and blue that albino swab is? That's a bad swab. You ever see anybody getting blue from an albino like that? It's wrong. Good swab. See, there's a light hint of blue. Yeah, you also got to make sure you get around your fingernails and everything when you're swabbing, just to make sure that you get everything, Anyways, we'll hold that right there, okay? Because I got to swab with that one again in a minute. That's a bad swab right there, okay? You don't put the swab in your mouth. You don't touch it with your bands. I'm not using these. These are going in the trash, okay, guys? So just so you know, those are trash. But that's not. You just gently touch it. It shouldn't. It might get a hint of blue, like a hint, because sometimes these are a little moist. And the water that comes out of the gill area contains a little bit of the blue stuff that oxidizes on the swab. The less you can get, the better. Now what you do is when you get that nice white swab, get maybe a hint of blue, not dark blue like a blue Sharpie. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. Now you can take it over your scope. You can take a little piece of the fluff, like 1 or 2 strands of the cotton, put it on a slide, a little bit of water, like a driplet drop, from the edge of a 32 gauge syringe, like that tiny little bit of a drop. A lot of you guys might not know what a 32 gauge syringe is. It's like an insulin syringe, a little 100 cc, 1 unit, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch syringes that everybody uses for dope. Those syringes, you can get a little bit of drop of water at the end of one of those. That's all the water you need. Put that on the slide, put a little thing of cotton on there. Try to get it from where you touch the gill. Look under your scope, 400, 25 or 40, 100x. You should be able to start seeing something, maybe go up to 400. For albinos, you're just going to see these little circles. Now, they're not going to look like water droplets. Those are going to look different. So if you see a lot of droplets, like not spores are going to be slightly oblong. You'll know it when you see it. I'm going to post some pictures. I got to get my scope set up still. I got today and tomorrow off, so I'm going to be playing with that for a while later. But yeah, just be careful when you get swabs from people, guys. If they look horribly blue, now some do have a little bit of a blue tint, but when they're dark blue like that and they look like they're either going to, at the best, you're going to get a clone. At the worst, you're going to get a pile of bacteria. But yeah, absolutely, Daniel. I know you do. Thanks, 4-Leaf. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with comments here, guys. Yeah, don't do all those things I just did with the second swab. Just do the first one where you take the swab, gently rub it in the airflow. You don't hold the fruit by the base. You don't hold it around here. These are all no good to swab because I've been handling them. I wouldn't swab any of these. I'd swab a couple from the middle that are bigger, that are kind of tucked inside, that the gills are just starting to come up. Those are the ones I'm going to swab later because I want to swab that fruit so I can get a T0 plate. So that's my goal with that. Just don't do what I was just showing you guys. It's not necessary. Just be gentle if you're going to swab, especially if you're going to try to send them to people or sell them. You definitely don't want to do that. Shit, sprayed alcohol all over the place. Anyway. Oh, other good news. I got a new phone. My other phone battery was dying, so it's an iPhone 7, but it's fine by me. It was cheap. It was brave, but it was brand new. But yeah, so that's that. Like I said earlier, please subscribe if you haven't, because at 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a big giveaway. You're going to be getting some decent swabs from fruits that I've crossed and grown. I literally have a box of swabs I got to go through, and I'm going to be sharing with people. So that'll be fun. Let's see, what else is there? Yeah, I got some cultures coming, or some swabs coming. Yeah, exactly. I know you are, Daniel. You know what, guys? I married Myco probably, I don't know, about a year ago now, Daniel. Yeah, didn't know him from Adam, but just something about some people in this community. They're so. I honestly didn't know. The first couple of days I talked to him, I didn't know what to expect, and then the next thing you know what? Some money showed up in my house, and I didn't even really ask for it. It was an envelope with some money. I was like, okay, and I took care of what it was, in regards to. And then next, then all of a sudden money should, it was a situation where, I was sending something either way. I didn't really care. It wasn't about the money. And then, more than willing to share out of the kindness of his heart, because at the time I was working on getting some things together. I didn't have money for shipping, and just sent it out. And I didn't realize it was going in the mail at the first time. So all of a sudden I saw the shipping money and stuff in the mail. I was like, cool. So just out of the blue, you can find some great people in this. Yeah, Mary, like, yeah, almost a year exactly. Yeah, it's about a year. But yeah, and I'm glad I met him. Great guy. His girl Emily and their daughter. Their daughter's beautiful. Emily is an amazing person. While he was away, I finally got in contact with Emily. I'm sorry if I'm throwing her name out there. I apologize for that, Daniel. I have a hard time separating screen names and real names when I know somebody personally. Yeah, so I ended up talking to Emily on the internet a few times, just trying to help support her. I mean, there wasn't a lot I could do, but I would have done, whatever I could have done, and I'm glad things worked out. Wasn't gone too long. Bye, Mark. Thanks for coming. Yeah, so it was a great friendship to make. So sometimes in this community, you meet people that you don't realize you're going to meet. Like besides Daniel, like Mark Z, I met him. We've talked many times, sent each other things, and Happy Dirt Dude. Like even like more popular people that you guys know, I'm happy to call a friend, associate, Michael Geeky, Ed. A lot of these people I get to talk to. I was trying to become friends with more people. Justin Noosh. Depraved just dropped a video on transfers and stuff. Check that out, guys. He's a great guy. He broke his wrist about 6 months ago, so his hands were all shaky, but he's finally got that. Looked great, Depraved, by the way, if you ever watched this. No more shakiness. I'm glad your wrist healed okay. Looks beautiful. Great job. The editing was fine. Everything looked fine. I don't know what you were saying, but you wanted to redo it. It looked great. He does very good videos. Check out his channel. He's got a lot of other stuff with a lot of information in the videos too, like very good editing. I know you did, Daniel. Oh, you're welcome. I know. That and again, if you need it, you know, you can reach out to me anytime, and we'll take care of you. But yeah. So where was I? Yeah, you can meet some amazing people in this community, and you can meet some bad people, like everybody's saying, and not necessarily bad, but maybe the two of you don't get along. Like maybe they're not a scammer, but something happened, and then it just gets bad vibes and things spread. Who knows? You know, there are some good people, there are some bad people, and there's some in the middle. You know, I mean, I have Christopher. He could have called me a scammer when I said there was some plates that were dirty. I wasn't. I just didn't know that would happen in the middle of summer. But you got to be careful with who you deal with, but you also can't be so careful that you miss out on the opportunities to find a new friend or a new associate or a new person to deal with. Yeah, you just got to be willing to risk things, I guess, one way to put it. But yeah, well, we're 1 million down on people. Maybe we're going to call early today. Huh. Anyway, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to post them. Yeah. I know I kind of went over a bunch of stuff on Friday night, so I kind of ruined the load of stuff I had to talk about today. But I'm glad to be back on a Sunday afternoon, and we're going to be doing this every Sunday now. Once we get up to like 30 or 40 people every week, I'll start doing more weekly giveaways, fruits, flowers, whatever we got. We can do something. I don't tend to give a specific answer as to what somebody wins. I kind of try to get in touch with them after and discuss, do you need a couple plates? Do you need a fruit? Do you need this? Do you need a swab? It's a lot easier. I'd prefer to talk to somebody and give them something they want or need. Yeah, absolutely. Mary, Michael, or Daniel. But yeah, so it's been a fun couple of years, guys. I'm glad I met most of you. And we're going to continue on. Like I said, we got the Flow Hood now here. Hey, B. Hendricks, what's up? Yes and no. I don't know how to. I stopped at Petri dish stage. I started growing cordyceps, reishi. Actually, I got some reishi on plate right now and on grain. So anyways, I started growing reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, chestnut, pioppino, all these things at the same time where I started about 40 cubes. So it was like I got overwhelmed and I couldn't afford the supplements to grow the gourmet stuff and all that stuff, the wood, the master's mix. I couldn't afford it at the time. I was just trying to keep up with the learning and building flow woods. This was like a year ago. Happy knows the story on that because he sent me some and we shared some, and I tried ordering some. I sent him some. He's still growing some of them, but I haven't gotten into the cordyceps yet. No, I have looked into growing them. I know the broth and the rice and all that stuff to make like the little jars with the rice cakes at the bottom with the nutrient broth and all that stuff. I do understand it a little bit. Like reishi, I know how to grow reishi. As far as like CO2 levels and stuff like this to adjust how the antlers come up or the conchs or whatever you call them after they have enough air and stuff. Yeah, I understand them, but I haven't grown them yet. I've tried, but I didn't get very far. Like I said, my first batch of master's mix I tried doing myself, and all of it seemed to contaminate out. I don't know what I did wrong. I think it was the hardwood fuel pellets I used. I think they were wrong. But these new blocks I just got from I think it's 9 Mile or 6 Mile Mushroom. They're pre-made master's mix bricks. Like they end up making a 10-pound bag. So you add like 2.6 liters of boiling water to this brick in a bag, an XLS bag from Unicorn, and it fills it up like quite a bit with master's mix after it, and then you steam sterilize it or pressure cook it. So what I did is I made up one of those, sterilized it, and actually I dropped it in my freezer just to hold it till I got my lion's mane spawn ready to go. Because I ended up, I don't know why I do all this stuff. I did the master's mix, the grain, the lion's mane, inoculation, all on the same day. So now I'm going to have my substrate just sitting there for 3 weeks. So I put it in the freezer. See what happens. I might take it out, let it thaw, and then bag it in smaller bags, or I might just, I don't know. I think you have like supplemented wood has to be sterile compared to core and verm. Like cocoa core and verm, you can take it and just dump it in like open air and it won't really do much because there's nothing in it. It's inert. But like master's mix, you have to keep it sterile in the bag and then add your spawn and keep it clean. So I might rebag it into smaller bags so I don't have to open it, pour it into like a tub or whatever or a bag that I'm going to grow the lion. I can't do that. I don't want to grow a 10-pound block of lion's mane. I want to grow like 3 and 4 pound blocks, something like that. But yeah, I've tried, but I'll get to them. They'll be all someday. Feel free to post any questions, guys, if you have anything. I know we still got 17 people's eyes on, so we'll see if anybody else, 18, has any questions. Yeah. Anything you guys need to know, I'll try to answer or try to point you in the right direction for an answer. But yeah. So, how's everybody's weekend been? Everybody doing good? Like I said, I got today and tomorrow off, so I'm gonna probably try to get a lot more stuff done around here, or caught up on, I should say. Like I said, Friday I ran out of freaking grain spawn. I usually always have something getting ready to finish, getting ready to colonize or whatever, and I ran out. Did my last. I got one little bag of tat that I'm gonna try later. Do a little experiment. I'm gonna do another Easter bucket, but I'm gonna put some CVG at the bottom, or CV, whatever. I forget. I don't know if I added that. And then I'm gonna put some like a layer, but I'm only gonna do like a center layer and then put more CVG because I want to see if maybe when the mycelium grows away from the grain, if it suddenly thinks it's all out of nutrients, if it's gonna grow quickly or grow bigger, and then it'll have that nutrient like surplus under the core. So like have like a layer surrounded by core and moisture and all that stuff, so that there's going to be this like seed packet of grain under the core with core all around it. And if it expands from that packet, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm not going to do it big. It's going to be like maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick layer, just like a pancake in the middle of the bucket, and then CVG all the way around it, and see how it comes out. It might not grow at all. I don't know. It's just for fun. Let's see. What is the most challenging variety for you to grow? Yeah, I've been trying to grow caramel popcorn for over a year, and I only got one little like broccoli-sized nug to grow. Shipwreck, I got that. I'm gonna be trying that one. I'm gonna see how that one goes. I had several cultures that were difficult because they came dirty or very iffy. So I was taking them, putting them on agar, and I was trying to clean them up, and it took months. And then finally, you'd see a little sliver of mycelium, so you'd grab it and then transfer it. And I mean, I've taken plates 12, 13 transfers over like 2 to 3 weeks each time transferring, to try to save a culture when I could have just spent $15 and bought a new one, but I didn't have the money at the time. So there's been a lot of challenges up until this point. Now working, I'm able to buy a couple cultures, buy a couple swabs. Like Jesse from Jungle Pack, I bought one of his all-in-one bags to do a live, inoculation and review, because honestly they're great. I've seen his all-in-one bags grow a lot better than I've seen a lot of others. So I wanted to offer him an opportunity. So I bought one. He didn't pay me. I bought it, and I got it upstairs. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you. I got it. I haven't opened the box yet. I wanted to leave it alone until I was ready, because I got other LCs I got to make. I'm probably going to use I don't know. I got a bunch of swabs coming from where I got swabs coming from Thailand. They're not going to be here for like a month. So I'm either going to have to wait a month and a half or 2 months, or I'm going to have to knock it up with something else. I might try this, that Albert too, because I got that. I can expand that. I can clone that and expand that, and then I'll be able to knock that up. So I'm excited to do that because I can't wait to see the results in that, and finally have a review for an all-in-one for you guys, besides the ones I made, which worked out as well. But I followed a lot of procedures like I saw Jesse doing with his. So he does a pH balance. He does also he offers them, but he does pre-orders because it takes him he does them all fresh. So like I happened to order one, and he had just made 2 or 3 blocks for himself and sent me one. So, but he's got like a 4-day or 5-day lead time or whatever, maybe a week. but he does them all fresh for each person because he doesn't want them sitting on a shelf, like happens a lot. So he's just a small independent mushroom grower or substrate maker, but great kid. He's got a beautiful dog, black lab or chocolate lab. I forget. It's a beautiful dog. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's like Casey, or I think it's Casey. Or anyway, I'm sorry, I forgot. I haven't talked to him about it. He took the summer off, and then I really didn't get in touch with him much until probably just recently, a couple times on IG. But he only does substrate and all in one bag, or whatever he does all in one bags during the winter. He takes the summers off to be with his family, which is awesome. He also goes to the festivals in Pennsylvania and other places. I believe he's on the East Coast with me. Next summer, I'm definitely going to have to get out to Pennsylvania to meet up with Jesse, Cade over at Medicinal Mycologist and his girlfriend. There's a bunch of people I want to meet on the East Coast. And I'm also starting to try to meet people in my area. But yeah. Yep. So that's going to be coming up probably in the next few Sundays. I'll do a inoculation. I'm going to make some good LC, test it, and then knock it up with my own. He did tell me to use about 5 to 10 cc's because it's a personal batch, and he does his a little dryer for him, which I said that's fine. That's what I want to do. But the way the new LC is looking, I think it's going to be pretty thick and pretty quick. Because he also, his bags, I think they're like 3 pound or whatever poundage they are. They fit in the bottom of a Sterilite 12 quart, I think it is. So I got some of those. They're actually 16 quart. They're the same footprint as a 12 quart, but they're taller. They're about 4 inches taller, so they gain more volume, but they're not actually any bigger. So I'm going to try to do it. What he does when you do your break and shake, you lay it out flat in the tub like you would with any bag into a tub, but you lay it out flat, and then after it starts colonizing, you can cut the bag off and use it. So what's that, Rodman? My mom is pushing me to go turkey tail. That's a rabbit hole you're gonna enjoy going down because it's a deep one. Yep. The turkey tail, I don't know much about. I've never grown turkey tail. I've seen it in the wild, and I think it'd be really, really difficult to grow indoors. I don't know. I think it takes a long time. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, might do that someday, B. Right now it's 10, 12 degrees out, so I'm not going to go out there to do it right now. I have a little drone someone gave me. It's a little drone. I'm going to see if that will work. This summer's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll get a lot of content and stuff on the lake with the dog and stuff. I mean, I might not. I might get busy, but I'm going to try. I mean, I don't really know much about foraging, to be honest, B. I've never gone foraging. I've looked at mushrooms on the ground and picked them and said, okay, cute. My experience with mushrooms is all homegrown and purchased in the past. But yeah, I am definitely interested in looking for some wild lion's mane and wild things like that, and learning more about it. Yeah, that might be interesting. I don't know what Buddy would do, but yeah, we could do like a group Sunday dog walk. Everybody get their, but that wouldn't work. How would people have internet? Well, they'd have their cell phone, but my cell phone signal outside is pretty shitty. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's possible. That sounds like fun, B. Good idea. But I'm trying to figure out if I can get the drone to work and yeah, I'm also like out of shape, so doing a long walk on a trail would pretty much probably kill me. Maybe by summer I'll be in better shape. But yeah, no, my legs are horrible from diabetic neuropathy and my back is bad, so it's kind of hard for me to just go out in the woods and start experimenting. But yeah, we'll find it out. Mindful detailing. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Thanks for stopping by. Depends. Emily said, thank you so much again. Oh, you're welcome, Emily. No problem. Anytime. Mindful detailing. Is it legal to advertise mushrooms on Meta ads? I don't know much about Meta. I just do my thing. If people don't like it, they're going to report me and they're going to get me banned. I don't sell anything. I don't give any. I don't tell people to use anything. I do all of my stuff for medicinal and personal use and educational purposes. So I mean, there's nothing illegal about gourmet mushrooms. So yeah, no, I mean it depends. Some people get knocked down just for mentioning it. I don't know. Mhm. You'd have to look into it. According to their community guidelines, it probably is illegal to reference drugs or anything like that, but I'm not referencing drugs, I'm referencing mushrooms. Um, its health benefits are from lion's mane. There's health benefits from all mushrooms, except for the ones that kill you. But even those, they might help you before they kill you. Mushrooms are interesting. I don't know enough about them on the physiological or biological side, but I'm learning, just like all of you. Growing them is the difficult part for most of us because we don't know how to grow mushrooms because we grow plants and we grow vegetables and we grow things like that. And we think they're going to be the same. And it's not. It's a completely new world. And if you get interested in it and you enjoy it, it's interesting. It's a deep rabbit hole. I got into it just to grow a few. I got into it just to grow a few mushrooms, trying to help my mother when she was dying, and physically and mentally. And I was too late, but that doesn't mean I have to stop. It didn't mean I wanted to stop. I enjoyed it too much, so it's a good hobby. It keeps my mind busy. It keeps my body busy. It keeps my habits in control, if that makes sense. I'm an addict, so when I have something to do, like grow mushrooms, play with my dog, go to work, these things keep your mind busy. They keep you clean. They keep you alert. They keep you smart. I went to work yesterday, got there at 10 minutes at 2, quarter to 2. I started at 2, and I was in a lot of pain yesterday. I was up most of the night Friday. I was just a lot of pain. And I literally realized as I was counting out the drawer, I'm counting out the change, counting out the ones, 5 cents. I'm trying to count to 200. And I was having a hard time remembering the numbers because, I can usually count out a drawer of 200 or change and make a drawer of $200 for like a change drawer. I can usually do that in a minute flat. I can just basically look at it and know if it's enough money. And I was literally having trouble going from quarters to dimes to nickels because my mind was so stuck on the pain. And that was such a awakening moment that people that have addiction problems, that have problems with substances, when your mind is stuck on something else, just doing the simplest tasks are interrupted. So if you reverse that, doing the simplest tasks can interrupt the addiction behavior, can interrupt the thoughts of addiction, which make your bed when you wake up, take a shower every day, put socks on, don't just throw your shoes on, put socks on, walk the dog at 5 a.m., walk the dog at noon, feed the dog at 11. These things are so simple, but I couldn't do it for decades. I couldn't remember things like that. Friday night after the live, there was a flood in the corner. The water started coming in and the pump stopped working. So what do you normally do when you're an addict? You go get high. Oh, I can't deal with it. I took a shovel. I started cleaning out the dirt. I got the ice out of the line. I talked to my father, told him what was going on, got the thing pumping again. It's just the things you have to do. And what I realized is just the habit of this hobby keeps me busy enough to enjoy life. Doing this, playing with my dog, these things are all healthy activities that some of us aren't either taught or don't learn. I was taught many times, be responsible, be respectful. I was taught many times. My childhood was perfect. I still became an addict because you know what? When I was 12 years old and I saw those commercials of like when I want to grow up, I want to be a heroin addict, or I saw those commercials, I was like, I wonder what that would feel like. I was that kind of person. I wanted to know everything about everything. And I enjoyed feeling different. I enjoyed the speedy rush of things. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed that. And then you get addicted and you start losing focus on reality in life. So the simple things like making sure your grain spawn's cooked right, making sure your substrate's done right, looking at your petri dishes, cleaning the dishes before you make a video. I did that a while back. Washing the dishes doesn't take long. It takes 10 minutes. But the whole point is you got to get up and start doing it. You just get up and do any of those things, and they're going to help you develop healthy habits, help you develop healthy friendships, healthy life, everything. And I am not physically healthy. I do eat bad foods, and I'm trying to get better. But I go to work every day, and I get there 10 minutes before my shift, and I get out of work time at my shift because I schedule my work priorities in the right order. I know that at 8 o'clock I get the mop bucket out. I go sweep the floor. I mop the floor in a certain way. I leave the mop bucket out at 9:30. I vacuum. I mop the last footprints that are in the store. Roll the mop to the back door. And with the right pattern, you end up doing it so efficiently. Like I usually get done by 5 minutes of 10. We close at 10. Like 2 minutes before 10, I'm waiting to shut the door because I'm all done. Don't have to stay any later. I see the schedule. Everybody's staying till 10:20, 10:30 at other shifts and stuff. They're staying late to finish counting their drawers and stuff. You got to get, you can be efficient, and these little things like doing dishes or taking a shower, they help you in your work life. They help you schedule your life. They help a lot of things. Oh, thanks, Samuel. I'm just trying to talk. I'm just trying to find things to talk about. I would say it's 50-50 and growing in the positive. I would say right now, 50% of people are trying to help people and 50% are trying to steal from money. Not steal, but make money. Abuse this stuff, just like what happened with cannabis. You had a bunch of mom and pops growing all over the country, and then the government said, oh, okay, it's allowed, or different states, and then all of a sudden, what do you see? You see regulation. You see these big companies where you have to have $1 million worth of equipment just to grow a plant that grows naturally outside. So I think there's going to be a lot of issues in the future. That's why we're trying to spread as much knowledge as we can now about trying to get everybody to just grow their own. You don't need to go buy it. You can grow your own. It's not that hard. You can get a kit and you can grow your own. In 2 months, you'll have your own medicine. You'll have your own edibles. You'll have whatever you want. Just like growing tomatoes in the summer. If you found out tomorrow that tomatoes had poison in them, which probably they do, the ones you buy at the grocery store, who knows? Would you grow your own? Could you grow your own? Well, that's why we're trying to help people in this community and trying to teach people that it's possible to grow your own medicine, find your own medicine, get into a community. And I think it is a lot of good people, because mostly good people try to help themselves and others. I don't know. Yep. So I started growing to try to help with my mother. Not with me, actually. I enjoyed growing. I grew years ago, 20 years, 30 years ago. I grew some to try to get high. And then life happened for 20 years. And then my mother got sick. I started doing some more research on different things. And she had dementia. She had cancer. She had all kinds of stuff. And I was looking up just different memory properties from lion's mane, because I had heard that lion's mane had neurogenic neuroplasticity regeneration effects on the brain. So I was actually looking into lion's mane. Then I found about the Stamets stack, and then all the different medicines in that. And I did start to try to help somebody. But then as she got sicker, I wasn't learning fast enough, and I didn't buy anything. I wasn't trusting enough to buy stuff from other people or get stuff from other people to give my dying mother. And she passed away, and I just kept going, and I just kept researching, growing, and enjoying it. And it's just been a healthy thing since then. And now I've tried to help other people. I hope I have. I hope I've helped with either knowledge or with if they needed something from me, or if I could help them in a way. I hope I've helped people. But yeah, I hope more people do this. Yep. Absolutely. Helping others is a byproduct. Action begets action. Difficult sometimes. Just take the first step. Getting out of bed in the morning sucks for me. I am in so much pain when I wake up. I mean, I am literally in agony, and I'm sitting there, and if I don't get up, it's not going to stop. The longer I lay there, the worse I'm going to be. If I sit up, if I get something to drink, if I get some movement going, if the blood starts flowing, I'm actually coming out of pain. It takes me a good hour to 2 hours just to be able to get out of bed in the morning, and that's no joke. That literally, if someone called me at 6 a.m. and said, get here in 20 minutes or your dog's going to die, it would take me, I would do it, but it would be tough. It would be very difficult for me to even just get out of bed. It's just tough. Sometimes you got to do it. Like today's my day off, and I had this at 12, and I got up at 10 o'clock just so I was down here by 11:30 so I can get things set up to talk to you guys, because it takes that long to get down here. Most people could just wake up at 20 minutes of 11, throw some water on their face, jump on the video, and they'd be fine. No, I got to get up 2 hours early. So I went to bed at like 4 a.m., and I knew I had to get up at 10, so take 6 hours. It's a good sleep. But yeah. Hey, Waz, I just saw you somewhere, didn't I? Waz, it was. Don't worry about it, Daniel. You will. You will. Your attitude's right. I mean, just your positive messages help somebody. Think of what you do for your daughter just by being you. You know, what you do for Emily, what you guys do for each other. You don't have to help people far away from you to help each other. Yeah, you're good, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel, you gotta get out of that area. I know someday if I ever move somewhere, that my whole goal is someday to have. And I've been actually looking at these different buildings. Yeah, you guys have seen those metal buildings, the barn dominiums and stuff. Well, my idea is to have a big garage for growing not mushrooms, but everything, fruits, vegetables, season all year round, mushrooms, all that in a big, like, 20 by 40 or 30 by 40 garage, and then have a secondary 20 by 30 or 30 by 40 house that's made out of metal with like a big loft for my lab. And yeah, I got all kinds of ideas. And then also, like, I think it was Derek. Yeah, Derek, you were telling me about doing how if you have enough property, you can set up like RV parking spots with power and sewage so that people can just park there and pay you like a couple $100 a month to sit there. So yeah, I have goals that I would love to do that someday, but we'll see. We'll see how life goes. It might take 5 years, might take 10. I'm not going to stay in this house forever. So if it wasn't for family, I probably wouldn't stay here. I would sell it and move on. But when that day comes, that day comes. Till then, we'll see what happens. I might do a little farm side stand or something. But yeah, you need to get out of that area, Daniel. If I ever have a place like that, I'll let you come park an RV on the place for a discounted rate. You can work it off. Yeah, that's what it was, Derek. D. Anderson here. He said that the RV park thing. Yeah, I would absolutely do that, Derek. I would have a mushroom academy. I would have freaking growing teaching. I'd have Happy. I'd have to be somewhere near Oklahoma so I could have Happy help me with the dirt. I don't know if Happy's throws out there, but Happy's into in the Korean natural farming and regenerative soils and all that stuff with soils, biochar, not mushrooms, worms, mushrooms too, all kinds of stuff. He's beekeeping. His wife's beekeeping. One of them is beekeeping. He's got a website launching. He's doing a bunch of stuff with that side of things. So if you guys are interested in farming or anything with dirt, check out Happy Dirt Dude. Throw him a message. He's very friendly, great guy. One of my first friends on this community. Actually, he was one of the first people I met was through Pops. One day, Pops was talking about way back. This was back after my mother passed. He was talking about he met this guy on the website that wrote him a note called Happy Dirt Dude, that he was driving a concrete truck, like one of those big concrete trucks, and you could just picture this guy in the concrete truck, all happy, bouncing around, Happy Dirt Dude. And anyway, that's where I got his name from. And then within a couple days, I think I wrote him a message. He wrote me a message. Oh, I'm not even worried about that, man. What's up, Wands? I know you are married. I know I would be too. I just haven't had the opportunity. Nice. That's awesome. Definitely do it. Just make sure you don't have standing water and make sure you have nice stuff that you can wash or clean easily. Like my plastic is good, but it takes a little effort to wash the plastic because it's not ready. But if you're building a real room, that's great. That's awesome. That'd be great. It takes time, but yeah, just clear out as much space as you can. You can always use. Oh, one recommendation was measure the shelves you think you're going to put in and where you're going to put them before you build the room. Because I literally have enough space for 2 3/4 shelves in my width. So make sure you have the right width, your final dimensions for the shelves you want. Like, go look at shelves because shelves are expensive. And either build your own, or if you're going to buy plastic ones at Walmart, they're like 34 inches, but some of them have little things that stick out. So if you don't get the exact right one, you're not going to have the right size. Why does this camera keep moving? So definitely measure your shelving first and whatever else you're going to put in there. Like, I ended up getting lucky. I had enough room for my flow hood. I could fit it flat against that wall, but I like it on an angle facing this way. It's not square. It's kitty cornered slightly. I just did that so I could get more airflow in the back of the fan. Good. I'm glad you're doing something like that, Waz. Sounds like fun. Let me know how it goes or take pictures. Oh, thanks, B. Yeah, Happy's great. I got some stuff from him growing right now. Actually, this one's they're in the other room. What the heck was the other thing I was going to show you guys? I don't know how I should show you this one, but I don't know if you guys remember a while back I was looking at the Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds. I don't know if you guys know what those are made to make from. You can make out of those. If you don't know what Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds are used to make, go on Google and look up Anarchist Cookbook baby wood rose, Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds. I'm not going to mention it online, but I got my first pull of my extraction done. So that's the first pull. That's 50 milliliters pulled from it. I got a little bit of aqueous layer still in there. I got to take out. See that little tiny bit of in the corner, the clearness. That's got to come out. I'm going to use a syringe to pull that out. But this is the aqueous layer. This is the good stuff. This is what gets evaporated into the crystals. So I got a second pull going right now up on my stir bar up here, which is okay. This is the second pull. Now this just came off the stir bar, so it's going to start to separate slowly. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Okay, let's see if it'll work. I don't know. Okay, there. Hard to see in this light. Let's see if I can get a better light. Okay. Okay, you see that little frothy layer? Right here. This top layer is the good stuff. This is the LSA citrate at the bottom that's being pulled out by the xylene top layer on here. So I got to pull off this white layer and then do another pull with some new xylene in the citric acid, the LSA citrate. So basically I'm pulling the LSA out in this layer. So that's a lot of fun. It's an extraction. It's not a synthesis, so it's a little different. I did go a little heavy on the ratios. I kind of, instead of doing 100 seeds, I did 250. I figured I might as well make more while I'm at it. And then I did my measurements up a little bit. But so yeah, that's going to be done soon. After that, I got to set it out to evaporate. But the xylene has a hell of a smell. I got to have it with a fan blowing outside or else I'll stink out the whole house. But yeah, that's my new project for today. That was one thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know you would, Married. I know you would. So yeah, so LSA, I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's just like the other one with the D at the end. Not just like, I think it's a little bit different, but I figured I'd extract some, see how it comes. So far, everything is looking perfect, except for I do have a little bit of under layer on the bottom here that I got to pull out, which I can do that with a syringe and needle. That's no problem. It's just I needed a separation funnel and I didn't have one, so just yeah, I'll know next week. I got to let it evaporate for a couple days. I'll probably test it Friday. Maybe I'll go live and test it. Take it, wait a few hours, go live, see how I end up acting. Oh, God. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know how it goes, Daniel. I don't think that shows up on any tests either, and it's easy to disguise. I'm looking to get, I believe, 6 seeds is an average dose. So I ground up 250 seeds. I'm going to go with 225 is what was left after any loss. Because, I mean, 10%, that's a decent loss. 10%, yeah, 25. So 225 seeds is in the extraction. So if 6 is an average dose, that would mean I have 70 doses coming. So I'm thinking I'm a big guy, so I'll need at least 2, maybe 3. Hive test. Yeah, we'll see, Daniel. We'll see. Oh, like, share. Oh, like, share, drive. Does that mean like, share, subscribe? Is that what you're trying to say, Derek? Like, share, subscribe? Because I live right off Lakeshore Drive. Either that or you're doxing me, telling everybody where I live. Oh, God. Actually, I don't live on Lakeshore Drive. I live off Allen Road. I'm not lying. I live on Allen Road, or off Allen Road. Yeah, I'll do like a an equivalent of like a 3 seed to 5, 3 to 6 seed test. Let's see how it does. No, I don't believe it does. I haven't. Maybe really, really in-depth ones that would show up, Daniel. But so far everything's gone good. I do have to separate a little bit more, like I said. Actually, this is almost fully separate. Now you can see the difference in the layers a lot better. Yeah, there you go. Now I heard it when it's done, it fluoresces blue under black light or UV light. So I got a UV light, so I'll find out after if it fluoresces properly. But yeah, that was a fun one. If you're gonna do something like that, make sure you got an area with a well ventilated window or something right next to you, because you're using a lot of acetone, xylene. You need ammonia. Ammonia. I forgot to do. I got the ammonia layer next. Yeah, you separate out the aqueous layer, then you add 1 to 2 drips of CC of ammonia to bring the pH up to 9. I got all the steps written down upstairs. I'm just thinking through them again. Hey, Sandy, what's going on? But yeah, I'll let you guys know how it turns out. Should end up turning out like a little pile of little white dust. And then you mix that with water or ethanol or water and Everclear. Literally, I need 5 cc's of Everclear, and I bought a liter, and I only need 5 cc's. So I guess I'll have it for other stuff, other extraction or other tinctures or extractions or whatever. But yeah. So I had another idea. Everybody sends out stickers to everybody. It's great. I had stickers. I sent them out to people. But now at work, I've noticed people want to know my information, like, my website, my YouTube channel, just different people I talk to. I think I'm going to make sticker business cards. So like on one side, you have your business card. On the other side, you have a sticker. So it's kind of like you don't have to throw it back and get a sticker away. I think a lot of people should be doing that because, if you take a sticker and you stick it somewhere and then you throw away the paper, that's a waste of the paper for one thing. And besides, now nobody knows where you are if they put the sticker somewhere else. So why not make a sticker that's very inconspicuous? Just, people who know if you know, but then have like your YouTube channel or something like that. So I'm thinking of designing something like that for my next sticker. So it'll be like a business card. You could leave it on the business card, or you could take the sticker off and keep the business card, or just have some cute sticker on the back of the business card that peels off. I think they make those. I don't see why they wouldn't. And if they don't, they should. I'll find out. I'll figure it out. That'll be my afternoon goal after I finish extracting one more pull. I got to pull this layer off here. This little white layer, I got to take that off. It's a pain in the ass because all the other stuff wants to come out with it. But I found out if you tip it over, you can tip this into a smaller jar. And then, I was looking at separation funnels, and I said, you know what? It would be easier if I just, because the first separation, you'd actually discard the top layer. Now, when you discard the top layer, it's easier if you put it in a plastic bottle and then you just get it over like a buck and you just squeeze the bottle and the top layer actually just pours out over the edge. So you lose that whole, you get rid of what you want. So if you want to get rid of the top layer, it's easy. Getting rid of the bottom layer and saving the top layer for me is a little harder without a separation funnel or a 100 cc syringe that I could put it all in and then just push it slowly out. That would work too, but I'll figure it out. Oh, I know you will, Daniel. I know. I'm sure. I think I sent you some stickers already. I'll send you a signed sticker. That's what the giveaway will have: signed stickers or sign something from MycoAlan. I'll have to come up with a MycoAlan signature. I'm not going to put my signature on. I'll have to put a M.A. MycoAlan. And you guys don't have to call me MycoAlan. You guys can just say Alan if you're talking to me. That's my real name, Alan. But I know, who was it? It was every time I hear people talking to me on their live cast, they say MycoAlan. It's like, yeah, okay, I understand that's it, but my name is Alan. You don't have to call me Michael or but yeah. So those are my little projects I got going on for the day. The grow tent. Oh, I hooked up the fan to the grow tent. That little 4-inch fan I was talking about Friday. I can have Alexa turn it on. Like, Alexa, turn on tent fan.
Okay.
See, she's learning. And it's running. So I got to figure out how to put a timer on it. Right now, I'm just going to have her turn it on a couple times a day. Just, 5 minutes every, So I don't know if I can get you over there to see it, but I basically went in through the top of the tent, and maybe I can get you to see it. Let me see if I can show you without canceling my feed here. Okay, so there's a little bit of light. Okay. So it goes in up there. That's a filter I put over it. Okay. And what it does, it goes in up there, and then down here, I just have a vent open so that the air can blow out. And then it comes in, which is a little messy right now. See, I got my steam going on. My humidifier is working. And then the fan's blowing in air right here. It's hard to see because air is clear, but here, watch the steam so you can turn it. Should start blowing out that way. Yeah. Well, it's working. Again, here's more of that Albert 2. My other one's still going. I kind of piled everything up here. This one's going. I got more stuff down there. Anyways, that's my 78% humidity. And it's on. That's yep. So anyways, that's my whoa, where are we going here? There we go. Turn this off. There. Okay, there we go. So that's my new fan I put into the grow tent, so it's going good. Back there you can see my little, for all of you that weren't here earlier, whoa, we're going to be harvesting the stacks later. Try to get a bigger second flush and some thicker stipes. But let's take a nice look at the canopy. This was one of my shoebox or my Easter basket grows. So it's a nice thick cover. That's how small the cake was. It wasn't a very big cake. This is a 4-cup bowl or something like that. This grew inside there. So you can see the size for comparison. Let's go into the view. So it filled up a nice canopy in this little tub. You know. And again, you can see this one in here. That's good comparison. That's got the same amount of substrate in here. And that's how big the fruit is compared, you know. So, like I said, some things flush one fruit, some things flush many fruits. But yeah, so that's going to be a fun one. I'm going to take some clean swabs later of a couple of those fruits. I might need to clone it because might as well just for the hell of it. But that's where it starts. You start cloning everything, and then you end up running out of freaking stuff to do things with. Oh, there we go. I have not used them mass mofo, but I believe you can. I wouldn't do a lot. I would just add a little bit. Make sure you stir pasture. I don't know. I'll find out. I know people have. It's just basically soil. Worm castings is just dirt. It's basically good soil. Yeah, worms eat stuff and then they poop dirt. So castings just means worm poop, guys, in case you're curious if you're ever looking. So I would check out the ratios of NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and nitrogen, potassium. I can't remember what that is. Anyways, yeah, check out that. Make sure it's not too. You don't want to use too much because you might get a lot of extra minerals and stuff you don't need. But yeah, once you check it out, you should be good. I wouldn't do a lot. I would just supplement it with maybe a little, like 2% to 5% the first time. Try a couple different batches with different percentages, 5% maybe. See how it grows. It's like when you add coffee to something. I mean, I don't know what the nutrition will be. But yeah, go for it. Give it a shot. See what happens. But I haven't used it. Maybe someone else here has. Get mad at stickers. I never got mad at stickers. I like the magnet idea, but I'm thinking, just so when you meet somebody on the fly, they're not going to want to shove a magnet in their pocket, or you know what I mean. A magnet's kind of heavy sometimes, so throw them a business card. They might just throw it in a pile, or I know myself, I had like a pile of them at one time. We'll see. What's up, Owen? JW Owen, what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming up. Azul, good morning. Much family. There you go. Married Michael is done. You gotta go through the steps. Yeah, Azul admits that's my thing too. Is like right now I literally have CVG, which is just basically, it's not CVG, it's core vermiculite and a little bit of calcium carbonate mixed in, like a couple tablespoons, not even a cup or anything like that. And my last batch was like, let's see, I got one of these left. So I got one block left that I made. I make it in a bucket tech and then I bag it up. This year is probably like a 5-pound block. It's been sterilized, as you can see by the tape. Black lines mean sterile. But yeah, so I got one of these left, and I had made probably 5 of these in the last batch, and it was just cocoa core, vermiculite, and I got the wrong size vermiculite. So now I have 2 vermiculites. I have really fine ground vermiculite, and I got some thick stuff that's like almost half-inch pieces, like half-inch round pieces, or maybe quarter-inch to 3/8. So I'm going to mix a 50-50 mix of those, which I think is going to be interesting because I think it's going to add a lot more aeration and space for the mycelium to get through when I pack it in tighter, because the tighter you pack it, less side pins, but it also restricts what growth area. So I'm thinking that's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I'm thinking maybe our vermiculite sizes have a lot to do with different flushes and sizes of stuff. So I'm kind of leaning on checking out. But yeah, so I keep it simple. It's just cocoa core. Like I use say I used 1,000. Or okay, let's go back. Let's use a 650 gram brick of cocoa core. I would put in I think it's 8 cups or 8 cups of vermiculite. But if it's finely ground, like really fine vermiculite, I can go up to 12 cups. If it's thicker, I think you might go a little bit less. I don't know. Like I said, I have to experiment. But normally I put in between 8 and 12 cups of vermiculite, and then like 4,500 milliliters of water, and then like 2 tablespoons of 37 to 4,000 milliliters of water for a 650 gram brick. I think it's like 60. Anyways, that's what I had. It's all written down on different posts I've had, but yeah. So I keep it really simple. Nice. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they would rot or I don't know. That'd be interesting. Maybe if I don't know how would you'd have to use maybe albinos because I wouldn't want to bleach them. I'd want to make them edible business cards. Why make them one time use? Make them edible. We use food coloring for ink. Make them edible. Make each card a half a gram. Please take a picture of my business card and then eat it. If you like this card, you can come back for more, or have a sticker on a edible business card. There we go. My mycelium leather business card with a sticker on it, so you can take the sticker off, stick it on your wall, and then you can eat the business card paper. That's keeping it simple, right? Yeah, the shit I think of half the time, guys. If I'm not talking to people like you, I would never repeat it out loud. You guys at least have a sense of humor and understand where I'm coming from half the time with the weird shit. If anybody's sitting here, growing what I'm growing and extracting what I'm extracting, and there's a reason my head's not right. It's right. It's just right for different people. It's just certain people think I'm right. Some people like I'm a fucking nutcase. I don't care. Hey, Daddy Mycology. By the way, Daddy Mycology, I meant to mention to you the other night with the dub tub I was talking about. You don't want to spray the top surface as much as the walls because you don't want to have a lot drips dropping into the substrate. So I meant to mention that. But yeah, I like mine. The one I showed you, I actually had to take the lid off of it because it was too much humidity inside there. Because I have a humidity in my tent. I had just put it on. Now, the original reason I made a dub tub in my tent was because of the fact that that box had a flat lid that was dripping onto the surface of the substrate. So I took the lid off, but I didn't want it exposed yet because it was still young. And I wanted a higher CO2 level for them to grow a little bigger, to grow a little bigger. Because that was what Happy was telling me his grow. He did a higher CO2 level and he got a little bit bigger fruit than a lot of different things I've done. So I wanted higher CO2 levels. That's why I put the dub tub on top to keep the CO2 in instead of just opening it in my tent. But if you're not in a tent with a high humidity, just spray the walls of the dub tub. You don't have to spray the top where it could drip down onto it. Just do the 4 walls on the top piece and you're good. If you have really fine mist or just mist it once or twice a day, you're good. If the walls are moist, don't mist it. Like if you still see moisture on the walls of the dub tub the next day, you're good. You don't have to mist it. What you're going to end up seeing is right at the crease that goes around the 2 tubs, it's going to dry out right there because that's where the air exchange is happening. So you're going to get less moisture right at the crease. Unless you seal it, then you won't. But if you just leave it on top with a little piece of tape, you're going to see a little bit of fresh air that's cleaning the moisture off the walls. When that happens, just open it and spray it. But if it's moist in there, you don't have to do anything because if it's moist in there, the cake's staying moist. It's not evaporating. So I meant to mention that, but I didn't because we talked about a lot of stuff. Yeah. So let's see. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. My cultures are all growing fine. Did I bring any in here? Yeah. I already showed everybody, but I'll show you again. Never mind. Just this clone doing good. It's a clone of my albino Normac and PCB cross. Boom. Looking good. T0 plate of the GT thick halo swabs I took the other day. Actually, this was the gill drag. I took a piece of gill tissue up here and dragged it through the agar with a scalpel just to see if it would drop any spores. It did. It dropped them along the way. I mean, I'm sure they're not monos, but it dropped spores all along the path it took, which is like a curve. So basically, here's the piece of gill tissue. What I did is I stuck it in over here and then dragged it around this curve and then just left it there. Just a fun thing to try. Another clone. Wanted to show you guys. Okay, so this is the swabs I took from this fruit here. The second flush of this fruit, the GT thick halo, I made some swabs and I wanted to test them. So I tested these on I believe it says the 24th or the 29th. So they grew out within 7 days. So that's a pretty good result for a swab plate. This was a blue plate. As you can see from the edges, it was blue. It's already eaten all the coloring out of it. So these are pretty aggressive spores. I think I sent these out to a couple people too. But yeah. Yeah, we grew. Well, we're the mushroom crew. But yeah, so things are starting to look forward good. I'm surprised these grew so fast. I love the way they look. Just freaking, they're not monos. I'm not trying for monos. I'm just trying for a multi-spore for a second filial T0 plate. So like it says there, I don't know if it's reading backwards to you. It's the GT thick halo F2. I think it's the 24th. Might be the 29th. My handwriting sucks. I'm sure it's not the 29th. Well, that would be 3 days. That would be way too quick. 4 days. So that's the 24th. So it took, and this looked like this like a day and a half ago too. I mean, this is not like brand new growth. This has been growing for a few days. There was little tiny, like you see that little one right in the dead center there, dead center of the screen, right there. There was all those like 3 days ago. So on the 28th, this had a ton of colonies already started and zero contam, which is a good sign that the flow hood and my Cero Tech is working. So yeah, things are going well. So I'm going to take some swabs of these later. I don't know if anybody saw my swab example earlier, or if anybody's still here. But yeah, don't abuse your fruit. You want to swab a fruit, like pretend you're just gently caressing the sides of the lip, the gills, just gently. You just want to be gentle. Just put it down and just gently touch it. It's like you're cleaning an antique painting. You just want to be very, very delicate. If it turns dark blue and gill tissue all over it, throw it away. Maybe let me see if I still got these swabs I can show you. Show you how it looks after a little while. So anyways, the swab I took that I did properly, this one here. So it did take a little tiny bit of blue color to it. There's a little tiny bit. Okay. But the other one is probably black and nasty right now. So anyway, that just show you guys the results. But that was done right. You want to do everything right. So you take a swab like that I just showed you, and that'll produce that. It'll produce something nice like that. The way I swabbed it is the way I did this plate swab. Yeah, just be gentle. Is 2% LME standard of agar substrate recipes? No, not at all, B. Hendricks. Standard would be like 1%, maybe 1.5. I go, so if I'm making 500 milliliters, I would do between 0.5 and 1.5% in that. So if it was 500 milliliters, this is the easy way to do whatever amount of water or agar you're making. Say it's 500, take 10% of that, which is 50. So 1% is 5 grams. So 5 grams of LME in 500 milliliters is 1%. So that can show you right there how much people are putting in some of these agar recipes and not getting any growth, not getting rhizal growth, stuff like that. You want lower nutrient. You can make 2% LME agar with no problem. You can do that too as like your high nutrient, low nutrient. I would start off for low nutrient. I would do between water agar to 0.5 would be really, really low nutrient. 1 to 1.5 to me would be average, and then 1.5 to 3 would be the maximum, like high nutrition. So you got like water agar, which is like 0, which is up to like 0.5 grams or 0.5% of your total volume in sugars, or if whatever you're putting in 5.5%. So 0.5% to 1.5% would be my average low nutrient, regular average nutrient. And then 1.5% to 2.5, 3% would be high nutrient. Like this LC is 3%. Okay, this is 3% LC broth, and it's 6 days old. Let me get some light on it. This is 6-day-old LC with 3% solution, and I only put 2 cc's of lion's mane in there. So 6 days of growth. I caramelized all the sugars, so there was all kinds of sediment in there when I did it. Anything over 3%, 4%, you're starting to look at toxicity to the mycelium. You might get away with 5%, but 4% is about the maximum you want to go on even LC. But yeah, that's my recommendation. 1%, that's about average for me. 1 to 1.5% is what I do in my agar. Like this stack of plates. Okay, they're all clean. They're just in their bag. This I did 1%. So. Yep, 1%. Well, I put 4 grams of LME, a pinch of potato flakes, like a quarter pinch of peptone in those plates, and they're literally getting eaten away that quickly. This was that color. This was that dark blue, and this is what spores did to it. So, if spores can eat the blue on a plate like that, looks like this, in a few days, 7 days, they're looking for food, so they're growing good. They got just enough if they're eating the food coloring. If they have any more, they're going to start getting happy and lazy. Like all of us, if we have too much nutrients, we get lazy. We just, we still work, we still do our thing, but we're lazy. We get fat and happy. Just like mycelium. Fat and happy mycelium just chill out. They get fluffy, like the tomatoes. If they're looking for food, if they're hungry, they get rhizomorphic. That's my analogy. Might not be factual, might not be biologically, relevant or accurate, but that's what I've learned and that's what I've noticed. And also, whenever you put agar into like grain, it seems to go rhizo right away. So how can tomentose mycelium get into a grain and go rhizo? Because they're looking for food after they're getting off the agar chunk. They're looking for food. So if they're already looking for food, they're going to get out to the grain really quick, in my opinion. But yeah, so yeah, 1% is about 1 to 1.5% would be what I would do. Oh, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, that blue is my favorite right there. That one I just showed you. That's the new blue. That's the newest color. This is the exact color. These are getting eaten away already. So, but yeah, that's the exact color I just showed you in the other plate. There was 2 colors, the lighter color and darker color. But yeah, and they're pretty clear. I mean, you can see right through it if you're looking. Anyway, so. But yeah, things are finally progressing. I'll hopefully have some cultures and spores and stuff available eventually. Again, I'm already sending stuff out to some people that ask me. I sent Toker for Life, I think is his name on IG. He asked me for some swabs from that golden meal. I sent him those and something else. I've always been sending out swabs and stuff to people to try. Hopefully, absolutely, B. Hendricks. That's absolutely 100% true. Like, I'm watching this. This is going to grow. This here is from I can barely read it, from the 20th. So this is a little bit slower, but it's growing. So this is probably just a little bit of a slower starting clone. That's all that was a clone, right? Yeah, TC, tissue clone. That's my new abbreviation. I kept putting like writing clone across the plate. If I just put TC, tissue clone, a lot easier than writing clone. That was what I was writing. It was a pain in the ass. Now this is the same agar, same strain, just a little bit bigger growth. And then you got something, same thing, same thing. I had one contaminated here. Where'd it go? I had a contaminated one here. Oh, I threw it away. Sorry, I threw away the contaminated ones. Azul Mesa, yes, I have, and I am not a fan. Nutritional yeast leaves a ton of chunks everywhere. Same with brown rice flour. I've tried soaking, like mixing the brown rice flour and water or the yeast in water first, and I still end up with chunks and nasty things growing all the time. Soya peptone, I put a tiny pinch in that whole stack of plates. I can see right through them. There's nothing in the agar. As you can see, it looks clear, except for the mycelium growing, of course. But I mean, there's hardly any freaking thing in the agar itself. That's a little bit darker plate. You can see maybe a little tiny bit of no, you can't see anything in there. It's just perfectly clean. So yeah, I'm going with something else. The nutritional yeast, I had a lot of yeast issues in my agar. Like yeast colonies growing and nasty, like tissue cultures would always be getting the slimy, wet stuff all around them. And I don't know if it was the fruit or if it was the agar, but this new recipe, my new pressure cooker, everything seems to be working a lot better using either no yeast or soya peptone. Not many people put it in their agar. I do. I put a tiny little pinch of it in the agar. Like if you put a pinch in 1,000 milliliters of LME or something, like a 32nd of a teaspoon or a 34th of a teaspoon, if you put that much in your LC mix, put like a quarter of that, just a tiny pinch, like barely like a few grains. And then I just use LME and corn dextrose. Very, very low amount of LME, mostly corn dextrose. That's my recipe. Corn dextrose, LME, tiny, like a quarter of it is LME, 3/4 of it is corn dextrose, and a pinch of peptone. It's working good. Someday, Bill, you will be someday, hopefully. It's fun. I mean, talking to you guys is the best part of it. Just being able to hang out and talking to everybody and meeting new people and talking to people and trying to help people. That's the best part of it. I could sit here all by myself and grow all day long. So, I mean, that's not as much fun as sharing it or taking pictures of it. I mean, I used to do pictures constantly. Like this past weekend, I think I put a few more pictures up on IG than I normally do. I'm trying to get some up on Facebook and up on YouTube as well. I'm nervous about those platforms because usually that's where the trouble starts, and I might not say the right thing or do the right thing. Sometimes I try not to put people's names out there, but I see the bullshit going on, and there is some bullshit going on every side of everything. So, I try to stay away from YouTube and not YouTube, Facebook and different things like that. And then Discord, everybody wants you to join their Discord. And it's just so confusing to me, that Discord thing. I mean, every person's server you go to has a list of 100 different fucking things to look at. And it's like, where do I go to just say hi to everybody? It's like, yeah, okay, that says talk this, talk mushrooms, talk this, talk. They all have all these categories, and you click on them, and everybody's got like one or two things. It's like, you know what? I'd rather just go on IG. Everybody I want to talk to is right in my feed, or YouTube. Or Facebook. I can actually go on and just look at my notifications, see who talks to me. Talk to them. But Discord and freaking Patreon, I just get so confused. Like Patreon, it says join our Patreon for free. So you go on there for free and you see like 3 things, and then it says, oh, by the way, do you want to buy it? No, I don't want to buy it. If I want to buy it, I would buy it from the person. I'm not going to buy looking at them in pictures. I give away my picture for free. They should. I know the content thing with the people being taken down is an issue now, but what we need to do is get someone that's really, really smart with computers that likes mushrooms, build us a internet or a YouTube or something just for us, because 90% or no, maybe 50% of the people that make YouTube videos aren't doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the monetization status on the channel. They're doing it because they want to reach people with the information. So, why we don't need a YouTube. We just need the audience from something like YouTube or a place that people know to go look. But we'll see. Maestro, what's up? I've run it. Yeah, nothing. I wasn't impressed with the way they dry. I wasn't impressed with the way they felt. They were 6 inches tall. They were a full canopy. When I dried them out, they ended up being like pieces of string with a little round top on them. Turned black. I mean, they were just horrible. They dried out into little, basically nothing. If you didn't powder them into a powder, you wouldn't have had anything. You couldn't have just, like these are going to get turned down into almost nothing too. I mean, they're so small. You need some thick stuff or earlier pulled. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with what they did. I grew them on horse compost or horse manure mixed in with the CVG. I cased them with a non-nutritive. I did the Gordotech. I did everything appropriately. I did them in a humid thing with a fan. I did it all. It's one of the first grows I did. Yeah. So yeah, I grew them. I grew PE7 and Pancyans. My first 2 big flushes were my first 2 official tubs. Pancyans were a 6-quart shoebox. Had 2 full flushes, but they dried up into basically nothing. And I think a lot of those exotics, like your natural size things, dry up really small in a dehydrator. Maybe freeze drying them would be different as far as appearance, not as far as quality of the mushrooms, but that's expensive to do. But if you're just using a standard dehydrator that we all pretty much can get under a reasonable amount of money, they dry up into basically like little shoestrings, little black strings like threads. So that's the only thing I don't like about them. And I didn't notice a big difference. I got some Pansyan Barabal Australia strain on agar. I was sent that by I forget. I think it was either Sporehead or somebody sent me a Sporehead, or was it? No, it was Phenodream. Phenodream sent me a print of those, so I got those on agar. Yep, those are a good one. Albino Bluevathon are pretty. Absolutely. But yeah, I like the squatty or the tall, thick albinos. Like even these are like really kind of thin for me. I'm not interested in the way these look. They're cute. They're pretty. They're tasty. They taste fine. I just had them a little while ago. It tasted normal. Tastes like it smells. Smells like fresh substrate or fresh spawn. Yeah, smells fine. Tastes like nothing. It tastes like water and mushroom smell. I mean, it's not like it tastes like dog shit or cow shit like they used to. I think that's what misconception a lot of people get. They don't taste like they used to. Yeah, Married Myco, send me a print, or do you have a clone or anything like that? I'll grow it for you. I'll get it growing. I'll send you a tub of the harvest. Yeah. I'll try it out again. I mean, I'm not against growing it. I'm not into things that dry up into dust when I try to dehydrate them. I like them to look a little bit pretty, not even to give to people or to eat, just or sell. Just if I give them to somebody, I just got a vacuum sealer. Half the fruit I got, I put in the vacuum sealer, just crushes it down to a flat pancake. And it's like, I know they're still just as viable and still as powerful, but why would I want to send someone a flat? It might work in an envelope better. Maybe I will do that from now on. I'm actually thinking that powdering them would be the best bet. Just powdering them, capsuling them, or sending them out to people that way, and then they don't look like anything. But that's what I'm thinking of doing with all the little ones that turn into like shoestring looking blue, bruise. When they dry, they sometimes bruise, especially like regular GTs or Pansans. They bruise. So the stipes end up just being this little thin black thing, and a little cap on top dries up. And if they sporulate, then you got spores all over them too. So I like the thicker mushrooms, something with some meat. Like these have like a pretty solid stipe. I mean, these are pretty solid inside. These aren't like hollow, so these will dry pretty good, but they're a little hollow in the middle. But yeah, let's see if we can get these to turn blue. Huh, look at that magic. It turns blue when you crush it. See, ready? This is how you make blue mushrooms. Okay, you take some ISO, spray it, beat it up a little bit. Oh, look at how blue my mushrooms are. Wait, here. Rub it a little bit. Oh, I dropped a piece. And wait for it. It's going to turn bright blue in a minute. Look at all that beautiful bluing. Look at how strong this mushroom is. Look at how blue it is now. See that? That's how you make a powerful mushroom. Spray it with some ISO. Take a picture of those beautiful gills. Look at how beautiful those gills are. Now, they look like this before I sprayed it with ISO, and it was in real time. So, there you go. Take your pictures, guys. That's how a beautiful mushroom looks. Look how powerful my mushroom is, right? That's how powerful my mushroom is. It turns blue instantly. So beware what you see, people. This is what it looks like. Okay, there's a little bluing at the stipe down here because I've been handling it, but this is because I'm touching it. Spray it with ISO, it'll turn bright, dark blue. There's your secret, guys. That's how a lot of people that are trying to take advantage of you will make a picture look better than it really is. These have been sitting out here since I started this podcast. Are they turning blue? Maybe a little tiny bit. I mean, it's not, it's more shadow than anything, but what it take 2 seconds to abuse it. And there you go. I mean, they're wonderful. I would eat that. I have already eaten one of them. I went one before when I first started. That's how you turn mushrooms blue and tell people they're very powerful. You can do it with spray paint too, or blue settings on your computer, on your pictures. Go into Photoshop. You can take anything and make it blue. But yeah, just be aware of, guys. You know, like a few of the podcasts, there are people scamming you with the pictures. I mean, it's so easy to make a fruit. Oh, wow. Okay. It's not blue. Like I can take this. Okay. Now I'm just rubbing this between my fingers. I'm squeezing it. Okay. I'm not destroying it. I'm just squeezing it gently so that when I take the scissors and cut it nice and slow, like they do in the videos, you ready? Nice and dark inside. It's hard to see in this camera. But if you cut it up here in the other part of the cap, it's perfectly white. Okay. It just depends how you do things. And I know they can show real time. They're showing a perfect stipe and all this, but it worried me so much when I'd see people doing things and be like, wow, mine aren't turning blue when I cut them. Why is my fruit not blue? Why is my gills not turning blue? They can when they're rotting, when they start going bad. You ever open up a fruit and it's got like blue jelly inside? That's not blue jelly. That's bacteria and psilocybin or psilocin that's been oxidized and rotting. Their slight bluing is one thing. Dark bluing is either something I've never seen, and I'm not experienced enough to say that it won't happen, but that dark is so rare to see it as often as we do. Some mushrooms do turn blue when you cut them really quickly, but a lot of them are just, you know. Yes, when I harvest the fruit, I'll show you. Okay, there's a fruit block right back here. I can pull and twist. This one's kind of not going to come out on me, right? Okay, so that's freshly picked. Okay, now I'm going to take my scissors, and this is what happens when you freshly pick it. I'm going to cut the crap off the bottom. Okay, it's not turning blue immediately. I mean, there's a little bit of bluing, but it's not. And this is a pretty fruit. I mean, this is well ready to harvest. Probably over a bit, you know. When it starts curling up like that, I think it's a little overdone, but you don't get to see what the expression looks like until you let it go further. Like I've showed it a couple times, like these are just about beyond where I would go. These are getting harvested next, or afterward. But yeah, I cut the core off them. I don't want to eat coconut core and grains off the bottom. I eat fruits. Now I'm starting to like these fresh ones. These actually tasting pretty good. I might start eating fresh fruits instead of dried. But yeah, I cut the grain right off the bottom. Yep, each one. Pain in the ass. Now, the other thing I'm doing, okay, this is another thing I'm doing. I got one of these. A big 10 or 12-inch French knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut all over the bottom, like cut them all off, dump them off. Then I'm going to clean the cake. Instead of trying to pick each one and cleaning each mushroom, if you hold the cake and the cake is possibly to be held, just cut it clean off the bottom. And then, actually, you know what? I can show you guys how I can do that here. I'm going to show you, okay? Let's see if I can get a little light here. Okay, so I'm going to take the cake. I can hold it because it's well colonized. And I have this little bucket here to collect everything in. So if you can see me, I mean, it's too much light. Turn this down a little bit. Okay, there you go. You can see. I'm going to just cut right along the bottom of all of these. So they're just going to fall into the bucket. Oh, okay, they all came off in one chunk. Never mind. That didn't work. See, I'm going to cut this whole base off. all the substrate comes off. So now I have, okay, there's a couple in there that fell off, but you know. But yeah, you go through and you pick everyone off, all the dirt. And now what I do is I take these and I rinse these underwater before I put them in the dehydrator just to get off any dirt, and then I put them directly in the dehydrator. I don't let them sit out. But this is probably a good 300 grams. I don't have my scale on me, but yeah. So that's how I do it. And then I'm going to take the cake. As you can see, the cake is nice and clean because it actually all fell off in one big chunk. Put it back in the bucket. I'm going to dampen it with some water. Let it soak. I'm going to spray it with a sprayer like this. Not this. This is ISO. I'll spray it for a few minutes, get it nice and wet, and go back in the cake in the tent for a second flush. Giving away a trade secret. It's not a trade secret. I don't give a shit. Not my trade. I don't try to sell anything. Yeah. So yes, I do. Yeah, fresh. Those are good. Those are pretty good. Not blue jelly itself, but turd farmer. But if you actually if a mushroom goes too far, like where it's getting soft and squishy, you actually can open it up and you can see the inside turning into like blue nastiness. I've only seen it on stuff that's like been outside in the garden, in the compost or whatever for a few days extra, and it turns that there's like I've had like a half a canopy of fruits that popped up. I didn't notice them in like 2 weeks overdue. They were beautiful looking till you opened them up. The inside was nasty, smushy, like jelly, like blackish blue jelly. It looked like nastiness. Timber. Did I miss something here? Timber. Yeah, the whole thing. I didn't realize how dry that cake got sitting in front of the fan hood. It was actually pretty firm when I first did it, and then when I cut it, actually the whole big cluster came off. Oops, I think he's falling all over my computer here. But anyway, yeah, the whole thing. Normally I just cut them off like that. I leave a little bit at the bottom. That once you start growing, you don't care if you leave a little bit of fruit on the plate. Because honestly, there's so much. So community not trade. Yeah, exactly. We don't trade secrets is freaking. I don't care about the secret as far as selling things. I care about the secret that people are showing fruits like that make people think that that's what their fruits are supposed to look like. They're supposed to look blue. They're supposed to look frilly. You know, these are done. They're solid. They're firm. You know, these are actually probably a little overdone. I let them go 2 extra days because I showed you Friday. They were still curved the other way down a little bit on the edge, kind of like well, these are mostly too far done anyways. But they're still a little bit flat the other day. Here's one. See how that side is, how it's nice and curved down? This is how they were 2 days ago. So they all curved up in the course of, 48 hours. They were like this last night. I just left them until today because I wanted to show you guys. Like this one here is done. Oh, here we go. I'll harvest this one. Show you guys. Okay. I didn't need to cut it. Okay. So this is the Thick Halo GT that I made. Okay. Now let's cut it in real time. I'm going to cut the base. Okay. Nice solid. Maybe a little bit of hollowness in the middle, the very center. But it doesn't turn dark blue. And I guarantee this is just as strong as anything else I've grown lately. But that's beautiful. That's a decent sized fruit. I think that's perfect. Any further, it would flip up a little further. It would look kind of funny. But it's got a nice crinkly start, little bit of crinkle stipe in there. It's ready to be gilled swabbed, which I'll probably take a couple swabs. I'll put this one away. Put it right over there by the flow hood. But yeah, no gatekeeping. I'm just telling people because normally I would have waited till that one turned into a beautiful flower and the gills turned blue, but what would happen is nothing like that. It would do other things. Like these are beautiful. They're overdone a little bit. I'd say probably a day and a half, 2 days overdone. I should have picked these the day that I showed you. but I wanted to get swabs off them. So I wanted the gills to open up a little bit more, which they did. And I can swab that one later. I'm going to put it over with the other one because I don't want to talk all over it. Put it in front of the floor hood because otherwise I'll be sitting here talking and all my spittle will go on it and that'll get contaminated. So I don't want to do that. But yeah. So yes, I have as well. Yep, just water, ground up mushies or fresh mushies, whatever you want. There's lots of different ways to do it. It works just fine. Lemon tech tea, same thing, works just fine. Fresh, you can do a lot of things with it. Yeah, I mean, extracting is different than like lemon tech. I mean, when you're extracting something, it's cold water, hot water, warm water bath. One of those not induction, the vibrate, the cleaners, the ultrasonics. I've done that. I didn't really notice any big difference than eating them normal. Yeah, I mean, it's just what if you want to play, like blue honey, same thing. It just ends up being a storage container at some point. I mean, unless you're using it to like sweeten up your tea and get, a microdose or something, that's one thing. But most people just enjoy growing and dry. If you dry your mushrooms, you might want to, if you're doing microdosing or a combination of powders in a capsule, that's different. I'm just talking about growing the mushroom and looking at it and trying to help people understand how to grow it. But yeah, I've looked at all the different things. I've done the blue tech, I've done the alcohol and the water extractions into a tincture. And okay, that's great if you just want to take a little taste. But if you want to take 4 grams of a tincture that's made with alcohol, it's going to taste pretty nasty. And it comes like some of these extractions, they say take 50 grams or 25 grams of dried mushroom and mix it with this. And then you say, well, I want to triple that recipe. I want to use 100 grams because I want to get 2 grams out at the end instead of 0.2 grams. Or like I made the Crystal of the Gods extraction, which was basically you soak powdered mushrooms in 880 proof alcohol. There's just a process. And then you get these crystals at the end. Well, that was great, but I wanted to double the recipe because I didn't want to have 3 grams of crystals at the end. I wanted to have 10 grams. So I like tripled the recipe and it was so thick and blue, it just didn't work out right. So you gotta do things right. You gotta learn how to do them right. There's lots of different techs that you see that aren't going to work. Like I'm actually doing a extraction right now, like I was showing before. That white layer on top, the aqueous sort of layer on top, is my product, and this is my container. That the clear layer at the bottom. I do have to take a little bit of that out of there. That's actually mostly glass, but so you got to separate things like that. So you got to do things the right way. And I did it with like twice as much seed, so I had to double everything. You can't just double the amount of mushrooms or double this or that. But yeah, there's lots of neat techs, Maestro or Azul. Oh yeah, turret farmer. It's nasty. As soon as you open it up, it's like, oh, what the fuck is that? It's like bacteria. And I have a hard sense of smell. Like my sense of smell is tough, so I have to wait till like grains or fruits are really, really fresh and smell really well. Otherwise, I don't smell it. But now I'm getting better. So this was going back over. My smell just was really low. My nose, my olfactory senses were low. Now they're coming back finally, and so I'm noticing everything. I walk in my basement and I can tell when a cake is ready or close to being ready. Like in here right now, it just smells like pure mycelium, like pure good grain, just myceliated grain, just nice. I can just smell mushroom all in here because I'm also surrounded by fresh mushrooms. I can smell those. I can smell what's in the tent. There's nothing in here that's contaminated right now. And if there was, I would not smell the way I smell right now. So yeah, when you get something that nasty like that shit I was talking about, you can smell it a mile away. Lemon juice, yep, for lemon tech, yep. With later cues, if you are before the veil breaks, they'll store much. Yeah, absolutely, Maestro. I agree with that completely. I'm actually going back to harvesting even earlier, like when the mushroom's about as big as it's gonna get, and even if the cap is still curved over and down, like these were way down before. Actually, these were kind of flat at the beginning because of the strain they are. But like penis envy, you see a lot of penis envy strain where the caps are all spread out. When I remember from the late 90s or 2000s when penis envy first came out, it looked like a penis. It didn't look like a flat they'll open mushroom. So since those, and I've grown them, and they actually still look that way if you harvest them a week before everyone else is harvesting them. They look like the original penis envy strain. So I think we're letting things go. And Ed was just talking about this too, and I concurred. And he saw one of the messages. We're basically on the same page. People are letting things go way too far for pictures, and it's not the problem with letting them go that far to make it look pretty. The problem is making other people that are trying to learn how to grow think they have to have that result. When you don't, you can have the little mushroom. You can have the little guy just in the corner, just this little guy over here looks so pretty. Oh, I think you give him a little pat, give him a little love, eat him, whatever you want to do. But you don't have to grow these freaking huge mushrooms like that one I just showed you. I didn't even realize that this golden halo that I put over there that I picked last, I didn't even realize that was growing till today when I came in here and I saw it. Now I picked it. It was like that big, like yesterday or what's that? Friday. It was like that big. So it's tripled in size plus grew a big cap. But yeah. Yep, I absolutely agree with that. Mutants, yeah, I mean, maybe you can. I mean, if you want them softer, but I like them to be firm and thick now, and I think that's going to be the way I dry them from now on because I think they'll turn out better in the dehydrator, which I think will help with stomach issues, like Ed was discussing in his thing about people are possibly eating bacterial dried mushrooms, and it could be coming in through the dehydrator or letting the fruits go too long and they're sucking up moisture from a substrate that's been in third flush. I mean, can you imagine if you went and ate a steak that had been sitting for like 2 weeks in its own juices? I mean, it would just be kind of nasty. So you get mushrooms growing, then all of a sudden they're ripe and they're sitting in a cake and say the third flush. That cake's been sitting there for weeks and weeks, and they're sucking up all the juice and making these mushrooms. And then people are eating them. They may look fine, but they might be overdone. But yeah. I agree, Mary Michael. The old ones didn't. They stayed down and they got soft and whatever. But ones you see nowadays, they're crossed so much they want these big frilly caps, and I don't know if it's good for the mushrooms or even for the alkaloid content or whatever's in them. You never know. Good thing to look into though, because I like the way things look when they're nice and firm in a package and they're like almost feel like they're dehydrated, but they're still cracker crispy when they're dehydrated properly. I have several that dehydrate that way. I think I've sent you some, even Daniel, that they're like cereal, like the marshmallows in cereal when it's like that dry, but still cracker crispy. Like Lucky Charms, little marshmallows inside when they're still soft, firm and crispy. That's how I like my mushrooms to be, not stringy, powdery, just dissolves in your hands. Yeah, it was exactly. And if you're going to swab them or if you're going to be taking pictures, maybe you want to let them go further. But the problem isn't that. The problem is people trying to grow them think they have to let these bags grow till the bag's full and the mushrooms are turning blue. And I think people might be actually making themselves sick, which I hope they're not. Or making others sick is even worse. Because, yeah, just a thought. Interesting things to think about. I'm sorry, Michael. Daniel, what is that? I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. Yeah, it's not even the same street. Yeah, it's totally different looking now. But yeah. So, but I hope I helped anybody with any questions or even the little results of the alcohol example. How quickly you can turn a fruit blue without doing much. I mean, just even if you're harvesting and you got ISO on your hands, okay, so you got fresh ISO on your hands and you're harvesting and you're looking at your fruit, it's going to start turning blue really quickly. Just touching it with ISO is going to make it turn blue. So, the other thing too is like, say you had this fruit on a cake and you wanted it to look really, really blue. Honestly, if you sprayed a little ISO on the substrate right by the mushroom and waited 2 hours, this mushroom would suck that ISO up into it and turn dark blue. I've done it. I did an experiment. So if you sprayed ISO, this is ISO, on your substrate right around a mushroom, it won't kill it right away. I mean, say you're going to throw it away. Don't do this for fun. This is just something I experimented with to see if the mushrooms. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like tulips or roses, the white roses, where they put a little food coloring in the water and all of a sudden the edges of the tulips turn dark blue or pink or purple. Same thing. The mushroom sucks up the water. So if you ever hydrate your cake during a flush, like as these are still growing, if you soaked your cake, all of a sudden you'd see the bottom half of the stipe turn brown or tan. Well, it's sucking up new moisture that's bringing in the color of the core right into the mushroom. So I did the same thing. I sprayed the surface with some ISO on one thing just to see what would happen. And it literally turned the mushroom black within like 2 hours. But it was blue in the middle, you know. So there's lots of tricks you could try just to make pictures. But that's not good. So people don't expect to see bright, dark blue when you're getting something growing, you know, especially if things are like from spore, because they could look totally different than generation before. Like this fruit is called Stacks. I got this from somebody, and his fruits were big, fat things. This looks more like a stormtrooper, but not flipped over, which I think is an isolation of. I don't know. I get so confused with all the different isolations because everybody's crossing everything now. So it's basically just albino or brown in my book, white or blue or white or brown. That's the way I'm labeling everything. It's either an albino or a thick albino or a thin albino or fat brown, thin brown. Absolutely. That's all I'm doing right now, Daniel. Spores. Like I was showing, I mean, I made some clones just because I wanted to try to do it, but like the T0 plate here from this one, this drag of a clone of a gill fragment, or this is going to be interesting. This plate right here has the F2 of that bigger fruit I've harvested from the second flush. This is a T0 plate. So this is all from spore. So it's going to give you a whole bunch of different genetic things in here. So I'm going to take this plate in probably a couple more days and just throw a big piece of it into a grain jar and let it grow into a multispore. And then you might get something cool pop out. Might be the second flush, might be the first flush. You never know. It's going to be interesting. And then once you do that, like if somebody really liked that fruit back there that I just showed you, this brown one, like if somebody said, oh, I want to have fruits that look like that one. Okay, you like that one? Well, I got a clone of it. So I got that too. So I got some new tubes for storing stuff on water storage. So I got a clone, take some swabs. There we go. That's how I'm going to do things. Going back to spore and everything. And if I find something cute, yeah, inbreeds or environmental condition changes that made something grow funny. I mean, my tent is going to grow different than your tent or your house or your this. So you could get this same strain, a clone of this, and it'll be similar, but it might be a big fatty. It might be a dud. Who knows? Your conditions are going to be completely different than my conditions. And that's what happens. I mean, if it's going to grow, I mean, if it's a monoculture and it's viable, it's going to grow and it might fruit, but you've got to have decent conditions, and they got to be, I don't know if they got to be, but a lot of people say like certain bag grows only grow in other bags, certain tub grows only grow in tubs. I grow in everything. So I don't really judge. Bags, I have a hard time growing with the tops on them for some reason. I don't grow good bags in the bag. Like I have to cut the tops off my bags to get a good flush. So that's basically just like a container at that point. And I think that's my environment, because if I had a drier environment, maybe a bag would be better. But I've always had better luck with the bags after the surface colonizes. Cutting the bag off, even after pinning it, just seems to work better for me. Yeah, I got that Stacks from Ronnie. I'm not thrilled with it. I just wanted to run it one time just to see. I mean, it's pretty. It tastes good, but it's not what it should have looked like. So I'm pretty sure I just got just a normal albino. Like I said, this is an albino to me. This is not something special. This does not have a lineage. The stipe is too normal. The gills are just doing what they always do for most albinos. It could be a tat, could be I don't know. I just ordered some swabs from Ed. I wanted to get that PF albino. He got the Psilocybes fanaticus albino, one of the originals apparently. I wanted to get that. And then I got two others. I don't recall. Maybe I can look. Got my new phone. Good job. Let's see. I got the PF albino. There's spore swabs. My spore swab orders is now complete. Oh, yeah, that's not what I want to say. So I got the PF albino, Stargazer. I wanted to get a copy of that, and then I got a J Ghost swab set. So I just definitely wanted to get a couple of. I wanted to get a squat, which is why I went with the Ghost and the Stargazer, and then I got the PF albino. Just I want to go. You know, I'm starting over with some like not original strains, but just like Ghost is Ghost, PF albino is PF albino, and the other one I know it's Stargazers. I know something different, but I just wanted to try to have like a, every time I get something, it needs to be this crossed with this, crossed with this, crossed with this. And I know everything's crossed, but I want to get like a land race, like an original off the poop, in a field strain, like the guy was mentioning last night. I responded in Facebook, by the way, if you're listening. I didn't recognize the name at first. Sorry. I did send you my address. But yeah, he offered me a spore print from I guess you'd call it land race. I call it a poop mushroom, something that grew in a field on, a cube on a field and poop. That I think is going to be interesting to cross back into some of these crosses that everybody keeps making, like I make. I'm making them too. GT Thick Hill, that's a cross I made. So hold on one second. Do you need me to move anything over there?
No, I'm just gonna get some.
Oh, okay. Well, I got stuff on the laundry.
Well,
Okay. But yeah. So that's
I'm just gonna move it, right?
yeah, just don't spill it if there's anything liquid. Sorry guys. Company. But so what was I talking about? So yeah, so I got those 3, and then I'm gonna try crossing some of the new crosses with hopefully the brand new landrace. Yeah, aren't those pretty? Yeah, that Daniel, I went through like every strain he had on his post, looking for certain things I wanted to do. Like the ghost, I haven't grown a lot of ghost, but I want the squattiness of it. I want to try to get a couple of really squatty ones to like take a little squat, big fat bottom and mix it with this. So then you end up with something in the middle. I know everybody's probably done that before with all these strains, but I want to do it. It's not a question of what somebody else did. I want to cross my own and name it my own thing. Why not? Try it. But yeah, never know. Maybe I'll come up with something cool. Like, I guess that's what we all try to do. Yeah, I don't have maybe I can get the picture up here. Let me see if I can get the picture of the PF Fanaticus on here. Maybe I'll show you a picture. Oh yeah, I can do it. I can do it real easy. I'll show you the 3 I got. Let me see if I can. Yes, I'm 18. Here it is. This is not my picture, guys. This is Ed's. But kind of hard to see, I know. But oh, there we go. Okay. They got really cool stipes. Look at those stipes. So anyways, yeah, I ordered that one and a couple others. But let's see. But there's a picture of the caps. Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit here. Actually really pretty. They got a nice, like, a little bit of a tan look to them. The stipes are nice and thick, so hopefully those will be here a couple weeks, few weeks, whatever. Anyways, thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. So I got that done. Let's see. Just run it back on Facebook. Oh, okay. No problem. No Russ. That was you, Maestro. I'm sorry. Your name on Facebook was different. I apologize. I might have got message. I didn't check it till today, so I wrote you a quick note. I appreciate it. That address will get to me. It's not my home address, but it's close enough. It's postal thing. That's why it has a weird look to it. Just write it out exactly as it's written. So, hey, nerdy, thank you. And there's no rush, Maestro. I appreciate it. You don't have to rush if it takes you a little while. If I'm sure you can send a print in an envelope, but if you have to send it some other way, let me know. We'll talk. No problem. Glad you made it, nerdy. I've only been on for 2.5 hours. I appreciate you, nerdy. You didn't have to come. Thank you. Well, let's see what's everyone's higher percentage taste worse. I don't know. I don't know, Jesse. I haven't noticed any difference. I don't know the percentage of what would be in here. I mean, like this one that I did the squeeze and the cut. Look how blue it is now. This is the one that I was messing with and squeezing and touching and, ISO all over. It's nasty. I mean, you take the one I didn't touch, which is right here, and it's still nice and pretty, nice and, it's getting old. It's been sitting out for a couple hours now, but, but they're ready to dehydrate. But yeah, that's how easy you can make something turn blue. Look how nice and blue that is. Well, isn't that pretty? I don't know how blue it is on the screen, but in my mind, in my eyes, it's blue. Look at nice blue. I mean, you can split this open now and get nice blue inside. Oh, look how pretty inside the blue. Oh, look at that. Look how blue it is inside. Oh my God. It's like somebody bruised it with their fingers and squeezed the shit out of it. Now it's on the floor. Guess I can't show you that one anymore. But yeah. Yeah. Been all over the place this morning. What is that? Tambino squares, Tambino squats. I haven't had them, but I am interested in starting to grow different things. And I'm also, yeah, the roasted marshmallow. Look, what is it? The icebreaker or iceberg or whatever has the square break parts. I want to grow that one too. I have some iceberg spawn or on a plate. I gotta try to figure out. I got a lot of cultures from people that I'm not really sure if they are what they said they were. They were free. They were giveaways. They were this. They were that. There's only a few vendors that I've trusted. Ed, Pops, Matt over at Tree Digs Mycology. He sent me stuff from Musellium Labs. It's all stuff I trust. Free stuff. I mean, even other people have admitted they got it free. They might not remember what it is. It's labeled, but you get something and it says tat and it comes out looking brown. It's like, okay, well, maybe it reverted, or is it more of a chance that it's just not what they think it was? So that's why I'm going with reputable breeders now, like Ed or Spore Swaps or North Spore. At least you're going to get something that you know has been tested. I mean, trading is great when you're first starting, learning how to grow. Trading is the best thing that ever happened to me. I found strains. I got freebies. I got different plates. I learned how to transfer. I learned how to swab. I learned how to inoculate agar with a swab. You learn a lot trading, and everybody's great for it, but a lot of times things get mixed up, and it's not by anybody's intent, but it does happen. I mean, honestly, I got a stack of plates from Newbie One, and I literally took them out of the box, sprayed them with ISO, and put them down. And when I went back to them, the ISO rinsed off all the inking on them. So what do? Do I throw them away? Do I look closely and try to find it? I mean, I managed to find several of the names, but even so, you got to be real careful. You just, things get mixed up. Or say I wrote down E114 instead of EK4. You know, there's so many different little numbers and letters and stuff. So I'm looking into doing a different labeling system, something that's easy, something that I can just say to that woman up there, Alexa. Something I can say, hey, print me a label that says this, and this, and then have the printer print it out. So I don't have to touch anything like my phone or anything. I can say, Alexa, print me a label that says PS Phoneticus, or, you know.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thank you. You don't have to. Anyways, that's what I want to do, is I want to get some label maker or something that's connected to Alexa. So if you guys know of anything like that, hit me up and let me know. And I don't want big labels. I want just like little, like 1x2s labels that print out something, hopefully a little waterproof. That would be cool to have. Something that's audio initiated, like you can tell it what to print, and then it prints. It has like a standard date or something on it, something like that. That would be really cool. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't think it's anything to do with taste. No, I don't know. I don't know either. Back to the Pancyans. I just tore Pancyans apart earlier, nerdy. I just tore them a new asshole. Not in a bad way. I mean, I just never found anything really special about them. And I thought they dried horribly. They're tall, skinny. They dry out like horribly. Maybe if you powder them and use them in capsules, that would be the way to go. But I found drying them to be a pain in the ass. It was like spaghetti. Imagine trying to take spaghetti that's like rigid and trying to get it unraveled and the dirt off the bottom of one end of it. That's all mixed together. It just seemed like a major pain in the ass. Then after I did it, I found out through, I forget his name, Mycophilia, whatever the guy's name is that does that website. The guy with just gloves in the video, and he never shows his face and never talks about much. He has weird names for everything. Apparently, if it's a full canopy, you can just knock them over by crushing them to the side, like bean sprouts or something. Sage, thank you, Bill. Sage, great guy. I just a little odd to watch his videos if you're expecting to see somebody. It just takes me aback. But I learned from him how to do them after I've already grown them, so I haven't grown them again. But they were a pain in the ass to dehydrate, and then they turned into like basically nothing. I mean, I might have screwed up, but I never thought that having to do all the process of growing them. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know they're tiny. I mean, I did grow them, and I probably... No, I don't think I have any left. I had a baggie of them for a long time, but I think they got like moist feeling, so I got rid of them. But I tried them. I didn't see. I don't take huge doses, so like taking a gram or two is like a huge deal to me. Like I was about to say, I'm still on methadone, and I'm thinking that that might be having an effect on the way that they affect me. Um, Back when I was doing, I was on like 150 milligrams of methadone every day. So now that I'm on 5 milligrams, and I'll be on 3 milligrams tomorrow because I'm coming off of it in 4 weeks, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I'll get my last, or in 2 weeks, I'll get my last 2 weeks worth. So 4 weeks, I'll be done with that. So maybe it'll affect how it affects me. Yeah, no, he's a good person. I agree. I'm just saying it take me aback when I watch him because I only see his fingers and I don't see him. And he calls everything different, like Florida this or grass lover or this lover, and I get confused. It's just very confusing to have new names for everything. And I'm trying to learn the original name. But no, he does put a lot of good information out. I mean, I don't know what his Discord or his Patreon does because he only puts certain things on YouTube because of restrictions. So I never seen everything. I learned a lot from him when I first started because I watched his videos just like I watched everybody's. Yeah, that's what he does, B. Hendricks. He just takes his hand, he just bent them all over. But I saw that months after I'd already tried learning how to do it my own way and in a shoebox, and the cake was down below, and I was learning, and I ended up with a mess, and I had to clean each one. You know, it was just a pain. I mean, beautiful, you know, but once they dried, and I looked at them after they dried, and I said, "What happened to my mushrooms? They look like threads with little like tops, like little like pins, like little flat top pins, like T-pins." But yeah, so that was just my experience with Pansan's. Maybe I'll grow more later. I don't know. Maybe I'll grow a different strain. Like I just the Ochriocentrata. I just had a bag of those grow. 2 days ago, they were starting to come up. I looked at them today. They were all turning nasty black and falling over because they were overripe. So they were only about this tall. So I just wiped off the whole top of the layer, threw them in the trash. They're actually they just look like this. They're just nasty, like little tiny things. I was like, no, I'm not keeping those. I'm not drying them. I'm not trying them. I threw them away. Daniel, that's awesome. Yeah, you should try to cut it in half. Do two. Always go down. Try to go down. But yeah. But so yeah, so I don't even think about that anymore. The methadone. I've been clean for 4 years this past October. So at this point, it's just trying to get. I'm doing it the way they tell me to do it because the way they've told me to do it worked up until this point. I haven't used anything in 4 years. I haven't had a dirty urine. I haven't done anything. I've used homegrown medicine like mushrooms or I don't even smoke marijuana, but I've tried it just to make sure that what I was selling people or not selling, sending people wasn't bad. So I did test it and it was fine. Put me to sleep for 12 hours. But no, I haven't used anything illicit in 4.5 years. So I'm just, the key I found to not being an addict and not using drugs is to stop using drugs. Just stop using them for a while. Abstinence. And if you have a lot of mental problems, see, I had an addiction problem. I didn't really have all the psychological issues with addiction, like childhood stuff or abuse. I didn't have all that. I just enjoyed drugs. And for people like that, just stopping them makes a big difference. Just don't use them. And then I had pain issues, which was another side of it that just took forever to get through. But once they stopped helping with the pain, the rest of the repercussions of using all the drugs made no sense to me whatsoever. Why use something that's not going to solve the one thing that I'm dealing with all the consequences with to solve? So basically, if you're not going to kill the pain, I'm not going to do the thing to get no relief. You know, and anybody that's been an addict knows how horrible the life can be. And you're not going to deal with those repercussions if you're not getting a prize, not a prize, but a relief. I was literally doing it just to relieve the pain. Like I was saying earlier, I get up and it takes me hours to get out of bed. And that pain is relieved now by what I'm doing that day, what my, results are at the end of the day. And I found out that the pills and all the drugs weren't doing it anymore. So why would I deal with all the repercussions of going to get those things, to do those things, to destroy myself, destroy my love for my family, destroy my family for no result? And when that happened, something clicked, I guess what you could say. And I was done. I did follow their rules and say, you're going to need to be on methadone the rest of your life to deal with your pain. Well, that was 4 years ago. And in the past year, I've decided that, you know what? No, I can deal with the pain because I still get the pain. I still have the pain. I can deal with the pain and just I mean, it's getting a little worse right now because I'm working so much, but I'm hoping it goes away. I mean, I'm giving myself 6 months of this and seeing if it works. If it doesn't, then I might have to slow down even more. But yeah. Well, if you're only doing 4 milligrams twice in the last 30 days, Myco, that ain't an addiction thing. You need to just stop. That's the truth. 4 milligrams is not doing much for you, especially if it's twice a month. You're not relieving withdrawals unless you're getting withdrawals for 2 weeks and then you're not, and then taking it, which would just be stupid. You should just take 1 milligram a day if you're getting withdrawals every day. But if you're taking that little, go get some what is it, ivermectin, or not ivermectin? Starts with an I. It's an injection. You get it once a month. I can't remember the name of it. Just check it out. And they also have not Suboxone, but they have Subutex, which is injected under the skin every 3 months, and it slowly gives you a dose every day. So Subutex might be something good for you there, right, Myco? Let's see, you got Suboxone, Subutex, or maybe that's Suboxone. There's 3 of them. There's the regular for the pregnant women, and then for under the skin. Subutex, Suboxone, and let's see, Suboxone is buprenorphine and naloxone. So it's buprenorphine and naloxone in a ratio of 8-2 or thereof. So it's like a 4-to-1 ratio, Suboxone to naloxone, or buprenorphine to naloxone. So yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, but I'm just saying, Mary Myco, you won't need to deal with the pain at all if you had the subdermal release one, and they can do it in a lower dosage. So you're only getting like a 0.25 milligram per day or 0.1 milligram per day every day to alleviate that pain. It might actually really help. Anyway, if you want to talk about it, Danny, we can talk about it in person. I know a lot about that stuff. Been a while, but I can access some parts of my brain again if I think about it, or I can look at yeah. So yeah, but is it Subutex under the like injection, or is it the films? Because if it's the sublingual film, is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking, what the hell is it called? They had it around here. Let me get the name for you. Sublocade. Sorry, it's called Sublocade. Buprenorphine extended release subcutaneous injection. Sublocade, Sublocade, is used as part of a treatment program that involves counseling and other things for addiction and pain relief, for treating opioid dependence. Sublocade injection is the same as Suboxone. Suboxone is a brand name. Sublocade is a subdermal. So basically what they do is they inject it under the skin of like your stomach, and you get a little bubble in there. It is kind of painful the first time, but then it slowly releases Suboxone over 90 days. And that'll actually get rid of Sublocade. Thank you, Mary. There you go. That's what I was. Yeah. Are you sure you took naps for pain, Jesse, or did you take osteocentrata? Sorry, sorry. It's like you ever sleep on a bed of rocks, like, and you have stuff sticking into all kinds of different parts of your body, and then when you move, it just it's not fun. It can be anywhere. It's not electrical, no. It's not like my feet from neuropathy with the nerve pain throughout my lower half in my legs. Literally, my feet and probably about halfway up my calf is numb to touch. Like you could touch me all there. I can't feel it, but they're in pain, but they're numb. No one that's not diabetic or have neuropathy understands what that means. My legs are numb in pain. So you think numb, you wouldn't be in pain. No, numb is just non-feeling of physical touch. The pain is coming from inside the nerves and the bone and everything. So that's the problem with that. But yeah, Sublocade, yeah. Suboxone is the oral. Suboxone is the oral with naloxone in it. Subutex is the oral. Okay, it basically Suboxone is for addiction. Suboxone is buprenorphine, which is a opioid and not inhibitor, opioid analyst or analog, and it fills the opioid receptor, so you get the relief you're looking for. But it also contains naloxone, which is basically the stuff they give people that are overdosing. Naloxone. How do you say that? I forget the word. It's about the stuff they give people. They sniff. They give it to them when they're ODing. Narcan. Naloxone is Narcan's technical name. Thanks, Bill. Yeah. So basically, Suboxone is buprenorphine, 8 milligrams, 2 milligrams of naloxone, and what that does is it'll actually strip the opiates out of your system and allow the buprenorphine to come in. Now, if you don't have opiates filling your receptors, it'll just be like relief. But if you're still in using opioids like within 24 hours or 36 hours, and you take like an 8-2 dose, 8 buprenorphine, 2 doses of naloxone, and you take that, you'll actually be put directly into the worst withdrawals of your life. It'll suck, and there's nothing they can do. You'd have to take so much freaking fentanyl to get off of that. I have never done that, but it sucks. You're going to be withdrawing for a day, maybe a day. So when they tell you to take it and do it right, now Subutex is the buprenorphine without the naloxone. So you just get it. Those you can basically do them whenever you want, however you want. But they're for pregnant women, honestly. That's why they came up with the Subutex, because that's for pregnant women. Now they've given it out in some places to other people that have certain medical conditions or whatever. And then the Sublocade is the buprenorphine. I'm not quite sure if it has the naloxone in it, but it goes under the skin, and it releases slowly over the course of 90 days or 30 days. Maybe it's once a month. It's either once a month or once every 90 days. I almost went on that, but I ended up in the hospital instead. So I ended up on methadone, which is oral. As you must know, it's liquid. Anyways, that's my rant on pain medication and withdrawals. But yeah, Daniel, check that out. It's kind of cool. And then there's another one. It's like interferon. It might not be interferon, but it sounds like that. Opioid detox injection. Let's look that up, see if that comes up with anything. Vivitrol. Thank you. Vivitrol. That's what it's called. It's a prescription injection medicine used to prevent relapse or opioid dependence. I don't think that's what you're using it for, Daniel. So I think you might be better off trying to look at something like the buprenorphine subdermal, and maybe even just like Toradol, something like that. Tyloc, just something that's similar. Toradol can be addictive, though. I found out. I never thought it was, but it could be. But it's amazing what little things can do. Mass mofo, unbelievable. You walk on a rug barefoot and it feels like you're walking across thumbtacks. Like any rough part of, like, I literally would step on like a shoestring on the floor, and it would feel like I stepped on a sharp pointy piece of freaking spike coming up through my foot. Unbelievable. Amazing how you can feel something, and then yet you can't feel your toes. Like you go to scratch your foot because you think you're itchy and you can't feel it, and you try to flex your feet. Like, I don't know if you how you flex, or you squeeze your toes down, you crink them up, and you do that, but it doesn't feel like you're actually doing it. Or maybe it isn't doing it because you can't see your feet because you're always covering them because you don't want to cut your foot, because if you cut your foot, you're going to lose your leg. And this diabetic nerve shit is insane. If you have never dealt with it, get your sugar under control. I just got my latest A1C last week, and it was 7.1. So, but yeah, that shit's insane, mass mofo. Yeah, random electrocution. Random electrocution. You'll just be sitting there, and all of a sudden your leg will go, nee! It's like, what the fuck? It's weird shit. I have not. Nope. Yep, right. Absolutely. Yeah, married Michael, you know what I'm talking about. And it's only people that have actually dealt with these pains that would understand what you mean by numb but hurt. Like if you have a toothache and you get numbed, the toothache's gone. Now imagine having your mouth numbed with Novocaine and everything's numb except for the tooth still hurting in the middle. And it's like, but everything's numb. So you can't even put ice on it because you can't feel it. It's the weirdest thing when you have pain like this. I don't know if it's called nerve pain or if it's neuropathy or whatever, but it's weird as fuck. I guess I'm swearing a lot today. Okay, I need to find something here, guys. Give me a second. There it is. I need to smoke. There we go. That's better. Just realized I haven't taken a puff off my vape in like 3 hours, which I guess is good. But hey, we still got 23 people, 2 hours and 49 minutes in. I'm surprised it went this long. Cool. If anybody has any more questions, throw them up. I can't wait to do this last little extraction here, or this last little. But I guess I'm doing it right because this aqueous layer and the xylene layer. I don't know what the actual term is. There's 2 layers. One's aqueous and one's. I don't think it's fatty because I already defatted it with naphtha. Because what you do is you do your mixture and you take your seeds, crush them up, soak them in acetone 3 times for 3 hours or 6 hours while mixing them. I did it for like 12 hours 3 times because I was working and I just did it before work and after work and left them on a stir plate. So I got, I think, everything out of them. And then after you do that, you strain it all out. You get rid of all the stuff after the third. You strain it. You save the liquid. Then take 100 milliliters. You put the seeds in 100 milliliters of acetone. You let it sit for 6 hours, and you take out the liquid, and then you put all the material, the seed material, back in, soak it in another 100 milliliters of acetone. You do that 3 times. Then you get rid of the dried seeds after they've all strained out. You save your acetone. Then you take your acetone and you evaporate it or something. Yeah, you evaporate it down to nothing. It ends up with this black stuff at the bottom. Add in distilled water, like 100 milliliters or whatever. Add in a pinch of citric acid to make it a LSA citrate. Stir that for a while. Then after that's done, then you defat it with your naphtha. You do that 3 times by saving the aqueous layer and discarding the naphtha layer. Then after you have that final layer, you add in xylene 3 times. Then you pH it to 9.1. Actually, you pH it to 3.1 when you do the distilled water and citric acid. Then when you get done with all the other stuff, like I just said, and you get the 3 xylenes, you save the xylene, the top layer. Then you mix that with, then you pH that up with ammonia to 9.1, 9 to 10. Then you let that evaporate. You end up with your white crystals. Then you take those crystals and you dissolve them in 10 cc's of distilled water and 5 cc's of ethanol and a pinch of tartaric acid. That's the whole thing. I can't believe I remembered the whole thing. Anyways, that's the I'm not trying to not give credit where it's due. Willie Myco's tech. It's all his that I got it from. So anyways. But yeah, so I got that back when I signed up for his LSD synthesis program, or not program, but episode. So I went through and I looked through a bunch of different extractions and stuff I wanted to do, and I just copied and wrote them all down so I could try them. Yeah, that's the wood rose, the Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds. That's what they're called. I remember that being in the Anarchist Cookbook back in 1991. Maybe 92, because I was looking through that trying to learn how to make all kinds of weird shit. And I remember there was a Morning Glory / Baby Wood Rose extraction, but I remember reading it and thinking it was really, really technical, which I think if you use the real names of the chemicals I just mentioned, acetone or toluene, xylene, citric acid, tartaric acid, if you actually use like the chemical names, it would probably look really, really complicated. But when you can just buy 3 chemicals at Amazon, buy some seeds from Puerto Rico and do it, it's not that complicated. So we're going to see how it'll end up. Oh, no, I'm not a doctor. This is all just for personal experimentation to see the results. Absolutely. I'm not recommending anybody do any of this stuff unless they research it very highly. And don't do it for others. Do it for yourself if you're going to do it. This is 18 plus. So if you're under 18, you should not be here. Yeah, well, okay. You want me to be on a government watch list and already watch this. So anyways, guys, I was talking to someone the other day and they were making a chamber to sterilize their plates after they're used, the reusable plates. And I was actually thinking of trying to figure out how to build a gamma radiation sterilization booth in my basement. Well, you don't want to look that shit up on Google. I was looking up gamma radiation. I was looking up all kinds of radioactive materials that I could possibly use in the corner of my house to clean my plates. Probably not the best thing to try to do. So if YouTube is listening, this was not the worst thing I've ever done on the internet. There's nothing wrong with the spread of free information and ideas. It's completely legal and it's my guaranteed right to do so. Now, if I said I wanted to build something to make something go away, that would be illegal. You know what, Nerdy? The worst part about all this is the only thing I looked into when I was researching using the chemicals I'm using for this right here was how they affect animals. I could care less if I'm in the environment with this chemical. I could care less. But if the fumes could get upstairs and touch my dog, they were out. That's why I'm in the basement doing it with a fan out the window and blowing it outside. Because even the acetone, I actually locked Buddy out of the room I was doing it. And I said, you cannot come in. And I had a fan in that room blowing it out because you should be well ventilated if you're working with chemicals. Now, these aren't chemicals that you can't buy on the internet or at the hardware store. Naphtha is a paint thinner or whatever it is. But, yep. I don't know. I didn't go far enough, Nerdy. I kind of stopped after I started thinking about the government watch list shit. Yeah, because gamma radiation. There was another thing where you could what is it, hydrolyze or where you turn something into a vapor, hydrolyzing. What's that shit? H2O2. What's the name of it? Peroxide. It's H2O2. I get a hard time remembering both the name or the chemical name, but you can vaporize it, or there's a different way of doing it at high temperature vapored peroxide, but not like 3% you buy at the store, but like 70% or something. And it's so like caustic. You have to do it in a certain type of vessel, or else it'll just eat through and then like kill you, or it's some weird shit. So I was like, you won't like Halloween's anger. I turned into a big golden retriever. You wouldn't like me when you hurt my mushrooms. Yes, Maestro. This is an LSA extraction. Yep. I'm trying to find out what the difference is between LSA and LSD, and I can't find information on that. Willie Myco said they're very similar. But he's doing great. Thank you. I saw that question earlier. I'm sorry. Yes, that is LSA, Maestro. Actually, this is the final aqueous layer from the. Actually, there's a little. I got to clean out a little bit of that bottom layer there. A little bit of that LSA citrate is getting into my final pull. So what I'm going to do is after I do all three pulls from the main. This is LSA citrate down here, which is basically LSA distilled water and citric acid, and that's pH to 3.1. Up here is my xylene layer, which this was mixing. You got to mix it for like 20 minutes. So this mixed already and it's already separated. This top layer is what's in this jar, which is just the xylene and LSA. So after I'm done extracting the rest of it from this one, and I got to do it one more time. So I'm going to take that 50 milliliters top layer off, put it in here. Then I'm going to add 50 more milliliters of xylene in here, do it again, let it stir for 20 minutes, then separate and pull it off again. I'll have 150 milliliters of xylene in here with the LSA inside of it. Then what I'm going to do is put this in an evaporation dish, glass dish, and let it evaporate overnight. And then in the morning, I should end up with a bunch of nothing. It should look like almost a clean dish with a couple little white spots on it. And then you scrape those little white crystals up all together, which I'm wondering if because I'm probably going to miss some in the evaporation dish just because my evaporation dish isn't perfectly level. Why couldn't I just take the 10 cc's of water, 10 cc's of alcohol, and the tartaric acid in a 20 cc syringe and just put it in the evaporation dish and then just scrape it all up into one liquid? Why do I have to make it into a powder or crystallized form first if it's already crystallized on the dish? So, yes, sir. First Amendment is absolutely wonderful. Problem is you have community standards and guidelines and shit, but I don't think they do it as much with the lives, to be honest with you. I mean, you're only here if you want to be here. I'm not forcing anybody to learn this shit. If you went on the internet and looked for, information on that, you wouldn't get brought to this live. Anything I say after probably 10 minutes, you'd be brought to another video of someone doing it. This is live. This is just conversation. This isn't, I'm not posting a video. I mean, it is posted, but it's kind of, I don't know if it's different. Everybody's noticing that lives get a little bit different rules, I guess. I don't know how to say it. It's so weird. I got a new phone. Okay. My other phone, the battery was dying like in 20 minutes, or I would turn it on. It would go from 100 to 0. So I went on eBay and I found an iPhone 7 Plus which is not the best one, but I know they're on like 16 now, but I paid $100 for a brand new phone. It wasn't refurbished. It was brand new. And I loaded everything into it. It's kind of funny because it doesn't have a button on the bottom. It's just got the sensor. So when you touch it, you don't have to push it in. And I keep thinking I'm not hitting it because it doesn't move. Just weird. Anyway. Yes, the mimosa bark. Yes, I did that as well. But it's a little bit different. The process is a little bit different. It's almost the same, but different. But thanks, Turf Farmer. Try them. BRF is really kind of cool. You could do that with a lot of different things. You could just basically use a tote of any size, like you could make a BRF cake like basically like that size inside of a tote. Just put something on the bottom, either like if you want to go old school, like perlite, wet perlite, or you could put an upside down diaper, a puppy pad or whatever you want to call it. Make sure there's nothing added into it like chemicals or scents or anything like that. Then you just put it up on like a tray or a piece of aluminum foil right on top and they'll grow. BRF is amazing. Everybody should learn BRF. I've done it many, many times. I actually did it a few months ago by accident. I had a bunch of things inoculated with some sport. I was trying to make spore syringes just for fun, but I made like a jar this size with a cap just bounced over and let all the spores drop in the water. And then I took like maybe I took a cute, like a toothpick dipped in Dawn and just let it all fall off and then just got it in there just to separate the spores. It's basically like tween 20, tween 80, whatever. So just to spread them out. And I did that and I took that solution, I put it on a bunch of BRF cakes and like most of them contaminated right off the bat. Okay, no big deal. But I had one that grew. Like, okay, what the fuck? All of a sudden I looked at it and it was white. And this is like a month after I did it and threw all the rest away. The rest had turned green and nasty. Well, one of them went white and perfect. So I took it out and it actually fruited. And it gave me like, a couple grams of fruit, just for fun. But yeah, definitely something that works really well. Yep, same trick with mimosa. Okay. Well, let's see. Any other questions, guys? I'm kind of out of stories for the day, unless anybody has any questions about stories. Let's see. I showed you some plates. I showed you some contamination. I showed you that. Yeah. Yeah. Lion's mane is growing good. I showed you that plate somewhere. Yeah. Well, if nobody has any more questions, I can hear Buddy barking. He must want to go outside or something. Oh, you know what it is? Well, the thing is, too, is if you have a longer live that lasts 2-3 hours and there's 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 people, obviously people want to see that live or else they wouldn't be watching it. So that makes perfect sense to me. Oh, thanks, Daniel. I'm glad you got to stay today and got to make it. I was talking to you earlier on IG, I believe, or the other day. My new camera just showed up, guys. So next week, maybe it'll look better. So let's see. If we don't have any more questions, we're going to call it a day, guys. And, let me refresh, revigorate, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can reach more people and get more people into the lives. I'm limited to 25 non-subscribers per live till I hit 500. Then at 500, it goes up a little bit. And then at 1,000, it goes up even more. Like, I don't know if any of you remember at T when they hit 10,000 or 25,000 or whatever number they hit, suddenly we got all these weird, trolls in there. That's because they got advertised to more places. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to do a huge giveaway for 1,000 subscribers, maybe 2 or 3 prizes, at least, shipping included. You'll get swabs, plates, LCs, whatever I got going. You guys will be shared with. Hopefully it happens quickly, and hopefully it happens quickly and slowly, because I'd like to get some of the new strains I'm getting from Ed onto T0 plates and fruited to give away as well. But there's also the opportunity that if someone wins and they want to wait till something's ready, I can do that too. So when I hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to start the contest or giveaway. We're going to get people involved from IG, from YouTube, from everybody, because IG, I got 900 something followers. I'm having people are coming over from there. Hopefully I get more. So we're going to just do a huge giveaway at 1,000, get some stuff out to you guys. It's going to include, fun little things that are, ready to go, and maybe some other things if people are interested. I'm going to talk to each winner, make sure the winner gets something they need or they want, because I don't want to send flour to someone that doesn't smoke. I don't want to send fruit to someone that doesn't eat it. So it's going to get like that. So it's going to be a personalized gift for the winners. They might even get a t-shirt, who knows? We'll see. Everybody's gonna get something cool that's involved in the giveaway. If you guys need anything, hit me up. Let me tell you right here. My email is at the bottom of the screen. If you need anything, hit me up. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram as MycoAlan. It's easy to find me, spelled just like it is here. Hit me up with any questions or comments you have. I pretty much respond to every comment on YouTube as well. I at least give a thumbs up or a heart usually right now because I still don't have enough people that I can't do it. So hit me up if you have any questions or anything like that. Yeah, let's get some more trolls. Let's get some people to make some fun of. Okay, hold on. I got to read this one real quick. I heard I already have blurry vision. Check. No problem. I'm going to do some more research. I got both coming. One I'm making, one I'm just getting a delivery of. So yeah, I'll do a side by side. Maybe we'll do it Sunday to Sunday. We'll see how fucked up we can make Alan in this live stream. That won't get the community standards going. Nothing will. Hey guys, take it easy. Much love. Talk to you soon.